Can I get a huh, yeah?
Hey guys, can I get a huh, yeah? Here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome to Kain Cast. We're chilling here. I got my co-host, Dylan Bennett. Oriah Christine. Joseph Pepe. And joining with us today, we have our special guest, Wyatt Olney.
Oh no,
Yay. Daddy, how we doing, Wyatt?
I'm good, buddy. How are you, man?
Oh, fantastic! How was the drive over?
You're like tucked away in secrecy here. I was going down back roads. I'm like, somebody's gonna do something to me in an alleyway here.
It's a nice warm cottage.
Or a swamp.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
I'm driving out of the city until I hear banjos, and then I'm like,
I love that. Well, let's start off a little bit today. We're gonna go around and talk a little bit about all sorts of cool stuff. So let's go ahead and Wyatt. Take us to the beginning. Where did you start off with music? What was your start? What got you into it?
oh no.
Were you like 5 when it happened?
Way younger than that. My mom
was out
put
of
me
the
into
womb.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
My mom put me into piano lessons when I was 3, and she was like, "You will be a virtuoso one day." And yeah, so like props to my mom, because my mom was the mom where I was like, I don't feel like practicing today, and she was like, no, you're gonna practice today.
Yeah, you're gonna practice. So piano was your first instrument then, technically?
Yeah, piano, and then I was a choir boy growing up, which I think you
Same.
have in common.
What's up, baby?
Singing songs for Jesus.
Do know, same, man.
Yeah, and then from there, guitar and bass and violin, and I like started my career as a drummer playing in like a heavy band.
Is everyone start off as a drummer? Like,
Dude,
we just
that's where you get the rhythm.
I was a
every day,
garbage
too.
drummer, to be fair.
I think you guys just realize how much it costs, and you're like, I gotta
It's
shit
so
up.
true.
I can actually do it.
I was a drummer until I found out Dylan Bennett exists.
And then
I
he
was
said
like,
no. Now I'm not a drummer.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Now I'm
Okay.
in 100 bands.
It's like, you ever hear a singer that's so good that you're like, why am I even doing this? Like, it was like that, but with drums.
It was
yeah.
like with drums.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you got your start doing choir stuff, start off on piano. So when did the guitar enter the mix?
I was 12. I was 12 and obsessed with like Linkin Park, and
Yes.
I was a very early adopter, like heard on MySpace the band My Chemical Romance when they were just putting out demos, and that band I still attribute to like why I play music, because just riff wise I was like, oh cool, because I was less interested in like the Eddie Van Halen thing, and I was more interested in like dark New Jersey punk rock.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think that's something that just still sticks with me. Like I like that like horror movie aesthetic. So yeah.
Now I'm starting to see it, because to bring it to a quick thing with the horror aesthetic, like your song "Haunted,"
Oh, Get
like
Haunted?
that was
Yeah.
like the first one like I listened to a couple years ago. And that's actually when I lived with Dylan and Oriah. That was like the first time I was like, dude, check this guy out. This song's sick.
Oh yeah, well, and it's got the great spooky organ
Yeah.
in the hook. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
which was my favorite thing. I was like, oh, that was marvelous.
That was my
And the count starts.
We got number one in.
burp count starts now.
Somebody do number 2.
Parvanilla.
Oh my god.
I'm waiting for it.
Juicy.
I'm waiting for it.
Record this one. It's in the next song.
Oh, I'm going.
But yeah, no, my whole career, I was like, I want a song that really has spooky organ, like really, really vibrato-y, like. I want it to feel like I'm just a weird Nosferatu playing like organ in a haunted house. And,
Hell yeah.
I finally got it with that song.
That's amazing. So you got your guitar, getting into like more the punk kind of horror punk type stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Dude, that's incredible.
Yeah,
oh my
man.
gosh. And
And-
see,
Yeah, like, and I don't know. I'm also shamelessly into like pop music and stuff like that. Like, I don't think there's a genre of music I don't
The limit
really
does not
enjoy.
exist.
Peas in a pod, man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We've talked about this on
Yeah.
the podcast a few times, like the gatekeepers of things.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, come on,
Dude.
I mean, as when you're younger,
Yeah.
you're gonna gatekeep a little bit. You're like, yeah, this band is the best band ever, and if you don't listen to anything outside of that, then I mean,
Well,
but
and-
after a while, you
yeah.
get a little bit older and you understand, like, every genre
You
is
appreciate
amazing.
music, different
You know,
kinds of
it's-
music.
Well, and welcome to the coolest era of music where now it's all about genre bending. So, like, for heavier rock bands, the
Right.
biggest bands in our field, like Bad Omens right now, who is
dude.
one of my favorite bands on planet Earth.
Yeah, Bad Omens
That
is
is a dark pop band.
Orion did a killer
Yeah.
cover.
I saw it. I was like the first person to comment. Yeah, like, because I'm obsessed with that band. But like that is a dark pop band, or like Falling in Reverse is doing better than anybody, and
Insane.
they're doing hip hop and like,
Yeah.
dude, the
Burn
song
the World?
Yeah,
Watch the World
Burn.
Holy
not only the sickest breakdown I've heard in ages, but some of the most impressive white boy rapping you have ever seen.
Get him,
Yeah.
like what is he freaking saying?
And it's one of those, like, I feel like now this genre bend thing is really popular,
Yeah.
which is really cool because, like, I paid zero attention to Bad Omens when they were like a standard, like, metalcore band.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it's like, no, we're making like dark, sexy, melodic pop music. And I was like, oh, this band is spectacular. Like, that last
Absolutely.
record is.
It's mint.
I can't name a better record. Like
Okay, have you heard of North Lane?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. We
Actually,
were
we
just
actually
talking about
talking
North
some of
Lane.
that in the van
Dude,
earlier.
Obsidian is amazing, and they cross over. They do the electronic kind of genty metalcore, and then kind of do a little bit of poppy. Dude, like I love the fusions of different genres together, and it just
Well, and you guys are able to do this cool thing where, like, you guys musically do that. You can hear the like metal influence under. You have the rock thing that's so front and present, but you also have the metal influence, and neither compromises for either, which is really like, I feel like that's the goal, is to be
Yeah.
like, we want to put like a deathcore breakdown in this.
That kind of happened for us with like anxiety. That all of a sudden it goes to that, and then some kind of weird guitar solo.
Dude,
Yeah.
Anxiety is my favorite chorus. I like. So when we were talking about Omens a little while ago, I was like, the Just Pretend chorus is like the best chorus ever. And then I was like, that Anxiety chorus though, like it's really good.
Thank you.
Because I mean, some behind the scenes info. I got to go to your video shoot.
Yes,
'Cause,
you did. You were
Redden was
there.
running lights.
Yep.
And I had to run over there. So
Wyatt
you were-
was naked, by the
Wyatt
way.
was-
the
The entire
was.
shoot.
You can
But
see him in
were-
the back.
You were shooting the
Darn it,
video
we
for
missed it.
Anxiety, and like, I'm watching you guys play the track, and it's playing loud through the PA, and I'm just like, that fucking chorus, dude. Like, it crushes.
Dude, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
I
it's
appreciate
really
it.
good.
That was a fun one to write, and I mean it's been a crazy process for us this last year and a half or so, starting to kind of get our footing into the scene here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and you guys are making you're making good, catchy, anthemic music, which is like, that's something that's never going to go away. Like you make music that's designed to be played in an arena. Like, it's kind of like when you hear early Foo Fighters and you're like,
Yeah.
this band may have been playing clubs, but they knew they'd play arenas one day.
Yeah, and they were
I
ready
feel
for
like
that.
you still have those big sing-along choruses, and
I think
yeah,
that's
it's-
Josh's objective, is to appeal to as wide of an audience as possible by kind of including that kind of a little bit more of a mainstreamy, but like also, you know, all the cool little.
You mean everybody's girlfriend?
Hey, they're gonna buy the T-shirts, right?
Josh
Yeah.
always checks
Hey,
up on
shut up.
everybody's girlfriend.
I'm Josh Kane. I front the band that you hate that your girlfriend loves.
That's my T-shirt on her.
No, it's
Let's
like-
put a
yeah,
T-shirt on it with sassy,
Yes.
baby.
You should have a new shirt that says MILF Magnet on
We're
it.
Milf
That's
Magnet.
a
Okay,
good
We're-
one.
I coined
we're
that
start-
term. No, I'm
we're
just kidding.
That's my boyfriend.
Yeah, we coining that. Well, let's hop into another thing really quick here. Something that's kind of cool that we talk about a lot is our best and our worst show experiences that we've had.
Oh, God.
And I bet, I mean, as being like a playing the scene.
I've played for a long time, so there's
why
a
don't we
lot of
why don't we
those.
highest a few and you can go over the give me
Yeah,
your
can we
best
start
show.
with best, because that'll be an easy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
then
Okay,
we
let's
can
go
work
over
it.
your best show. Best show you've had,
best show.
or experience, even if it was like the best experience. Like everything down to like how it was with the venue, the promoter, the crowd. These details.
I mean, like, okay, out of the like hundreds or maybe like thousands of times of doing things, opening for Alice in Chains at White River Amphitheater, because it was like Alice in
Dude,
Chains.
we were so proud of you guys.
Oh, dude, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, that was the wildest. The lead up to the show was a nightmare because a certain organization that was in charge of it. Not at all KISW. We love KISW, but KISW had to keep fighting to keep us on the show because one of the overarching business entities did not want us on the show. So even up to 24 hours before the show, we didn't think we were playing.
No way.
And a bunch of our fans had bought like
That has to be
$200 tickets.
disheartening.
Oh yeah, well, because it was the whole like we were so stoked, and then in the lead up, like it was like such and such business entity who I may one day work with again, so I can't really talk smack.
Yeah.
Was like, so no locals, period. Like, and we were just heartbroken.
I've seen locals play on that big stage. Dude.
100%. So like the compromise that was made is we were bumped to a side stage. So technically, I still don't have the bucket list item of playing the main stage at White River.
It's gonna happen.
It'll happen. We'll figure it
happen,
out.
dude.
Like I firmly believe it will at some point. But the fact that it was like it all worked out, we got to play to a sea of people, and then as I stepped off stage, a certain person who works at a certain radio station gave me a bottle of water, but it only had about that much water in it. I was like, oh, thanks, dude. Took it down, and I didn't realize he had spiked it with LSD. I've never done LSD before, but what I will say, I'm not endorsing drug
Jimi
use
Hendrix.
at all. But I spent the rest of that day, so like, then Aaron plays, who's a great friend of ours.
Aaron's awesome.
And like getting to watch Alice in Chains breaking Benjamin Bush while I'm on LSD, which I like crested or whatever that term is called during Alice in Chains' set. So I'm there next to like Taryn Daly and Ted Smith, like just with my arms around them. It felt like Alice in Chains played a 9-hour set. Like I was just drifting through time and space.
Damn.
So you were drugged.
Technically, it was a friendly drugging. It's not something I necessarily minded.
You were okay with
I
it.
do wish because I thought somebody was handing me water, saying like, "Oh, dude, hydrate," because I
but they're
just
like,
gotten
"Oh,
off
wait,
stage.
When it was a
there's
hot
LSD
day,
in this.
wasn't it? This is in the middle of summer. This is like right at the
middle
cusp.
of, like August, and and so get off stage, biggest show of our career, and I'm thinking somebody's handing me water to hydrate me. No, and then he tells me afterwards, and I'm like, I feel like
Sounds like Ari Shafir.
yeah. It was Nari.
So it's kind of like a Cheech and Chong, like, here, man, take this.
Yeah.
Wait, don't take that, man.
Don't take that, man.
And I wanted to be upset because I was like, don't take me out of the moment on my day. But like, because we had been kicked off and brought back on so many times, we like didn't even have merch or a booth, like we weren't allowed to. So I was like, oh,
Are you
I'm
serious?
just a patron for the rest of this show.
Yeah.
I got nowhere to be. Let's do this. Yeah.
At
Hell
least
yeah.
you enjoyed it. You rode the high up.
Yeah, watching Alice in Chains, and they're like going into like all of the reasons why I play music, and I'm just sitting there the entire time. It was great.
Oh my
That's
God.
incredible.
It's incredible.
I love
That's
that.
got to be like a best show experience.
That has to. No,
Oh, yeah.
I
Wait,
mean,
here, let's hear the worst.
worse. Let me hear, baby.
Let's hear that worst
We
one.
have so many like.
Give me a-
do you
give
want
me
the
three.
actual-
so many
Give me
bad
the worst
ones.
one, and then give me like an honorable mention.
I mean,
Or you can do
in
three
no
if you can't
particular
pick.
order.
Okay, I like that.
Like even stuff like on our most recent tour, we were supposed to be playing the Knitting Factory for the first time.
Great band,
And I was
apparently.
like, I've always wanted to play the Knitting Factory. This is a bucket list thing. Day of, we're already out in Spokane. We find out that the show is canceled.
No heads up to you.
Lapse with somebody else who organized the show or whatnot. And they're like, don't worry, we booked a replacement show. Which was basically at a Denny's. Like it was a glory. It was
What's up,
the
Daddy?
is up, Denny's?
That's our bucket list.
I've got
Denny's is
footage.
better than Knitting Factory. I'm
I've
not
got
gonna lie.
footage that's gonna come out
What's
later
up,
this
Denny's?
year. That's because we're on film, like finding out that it's canceled, and then we get there. There's no PA. This is not a music venue, so they're trying to install one, and they can't work it out. We like run 3 mics and like a pad and a laptop and stuff. We've got one input for all of that. So I'm like just singing. We're playing with no production.
Yeah.
The crowd is not wanting a music performance. So like we were expecting one of our career highlights that night.
Yeah.
And we literally are playing to people who wish we would leave.
Wow.
Like,
Let me eat my
I
Grand
just want to
Slam
eat
and
my
leave.
French toast.
Jesus. Like, we had just played Numos in Seattle, which was sold
So you're
out
coming
with
off the
Aaron.
high from
Dude,
that?
We're playing like 1,500 people all bouncing, all the walls are shaking.
And
like-
then you go to a Denny's.
And then our next show is basically a Denny's. And so the highest of high to the lowest of lows, like we finish a song and literally some of the people sitting there just eating their prime rib are like, could you shut the up?
I'm just trying to eat my food.
But
over
wait,
here.
what was the venue called? If you don't mind. Was it a burger joint?
Called the Viking, which was where it got put at. So it is technically
Maybe
a bar
bleep
and
that.
restaurant.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we should believe that. Probably.
It was Denny's.
Actually, you
I'll
know
fix
what?
it in post.
You know what? I'm never gonna play there again. So you know what? F- the Viking. I'm cool. Yeah. No, it's cool.
Viking.
We can have that relationship ruined. So
Yeah.
that was rough.
Yeah.
The other one, actually, super sick show. Funny enough, also the same mark. I'm not going to bring up the venue.
Yeah, okay.
Great
Fine.
venue out east. We did really well. Show was packed. Whole crowd was singing along. I'm like, man, this is what it's all about. We get back to the hotel afterwards, and part of our compensation was having our hotel booked for us.
Yeah.
Which we got checked into our hotel and everything. We get back to the hotel and get chased back out with a baseball bat because the promoter not only had skipped with all of our show money and all of our show pay, but it turns out he called his bank and back charged the hotel rooms. So all of our stuff is in the hotel and we can't get into it.
Oh my god.
Shout out to any promoter that does that. You need to go to hell.
Yeah. If you're a promoter, you're doing this shit to bands. You.
Yeah, well,
and
hey,
it's happened
hey,
to us a lot.
I mean,
Like-
can we talk about that a little bit? Like,
Yeah, you know what?
We don't want to
Yeah.
mention any names.
Well,
no,
yeah,
I'm
we,
not-
and
I'm
we
not-
don't have to unless they're people who
I
are
don't know.
really
This
bad
one we
to
might
us.
have
I'll
to mention
start-
some names.
Well,
yeah, can we?
we can always.
yeah.
Why don't we just bleep it out? We can talk amongst
Well, because
ourselves and
only
just
the
bleep
people
it
in
out.
Seattle know who we're talking,
Talking about.
And at that point, they'll
This
be like,
wasn't just
yeah,
a quick thing.
indoors.
Was this the James Juggernaut guy or no?
No.
Because he had like screwed over a ton of people. He's got everyone after him. ICP's after him, dude. Or the guy from ICP.
no.
This, and he was, I was like, is it the guy from Spokane? Because this guy, we almost got onto a Saving Abel show, but
Yeah.
it wasn't actually Saving Abel. It was like the lead. It was
It was a singer.
I
was
recall.
singer. Yeah, and I was like, that's-
I remember that
Oh,
tour.
man.
Wasn't it called like the King of Rock and Roll tour?
something interesting. Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. But I'm like, I can't promote it as Saving Abel because it's not the guy. He played in them, but it's not the actual band. It was a weird situation. But James was the one doing that, and we have a thing. We have like a guarantee most of the time. Like when we play a venue,
hard time.
it's either we are doing like the door deal guarantee. We have a certain like
To
we
make
need
the
a guaranteed
travel
sound check. Yeah,
compensate.
yeah,
Yeah.
And this guy agreed to everything, and I sent over my
Somebody
contract.
else who's smart enough to have contracts. Thank you.
So I sent it over, right? Check this out. All of a sudden, like at first, like, yeah, we're gonna give you your guarantee, plus we'll cover your hotel. Then like I send over the contract. I'm like, well, we can't say yes until this is signed. And sure enough, it's like all of a sudden like, oh, I can't, it's not gonna work right now. And then all of a sudden, a week later, it comes out that this guy had was a ginormous coke head and blew all the people's money. Like, and
As a lot of promoters
but he
are.
was working with like ICP's, one of the guys from ICP. And that guy blasted him. The guy from ICP blasted him all over social media. Was like, this guy, was, dude, he was easy. So he's like annexed. No one wants to work with
For the record, respect to the Juggalos. If there's anybody
Yes.
on earth you do not want mad at you, it's the Juggalos. Dude, we sign up every year to try and play the gathering of the
Yeah.
Juggalos just because I'm like, if there is one fan base that will bleed for you, I want that fan base.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll wear all the makeup. I'll
Do
get
it.
on stage like a rodeo clown. It'll be good.
The guy that shoots our music videos, which
Zab.
Zab, yeah,
Zab.
He
He did
played
one of
there.
ours, too.
Yeah, he's
Dude,
awesome.
he's on tour with Steel Panther right now.
Oh my god.
Is it
Yeah,
really?
he's out
Doing
with
all the
Jealous.
videography
Blue Beaver?
and stuff.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude, Zab is a different animal. He
Dude,
has such an eye.
Did you know that in Kent, his dad owns the Kent Bowl there?
Yeah,
Really?
dude. He was like, we should shoot a music video at a bowling alley, and then he's like, my dad owns this one, and I'm like, okay, that'd be kind of cool.
Why is it that I'm
suck
like,
at
Yes.
bowling.
he just had that idea because he was like, oh, here's a free spot. Yeah, I know. No shade to Zab. I love Zab so
No.
much.
Well, in most of the music videos we shot, so I had to rent the Decade Studios.
Yeah.
For the couple shoots, we done 3.
Yeah.
total. And but if you get a good free location, like we did the last one here, which we actually turned.
We've recorded a lot of shit here.
Yeah.
Well, and it's one of those, like, there are a few great locations, but you start to realize, so, like, I feel like Wreckage has used just about every dilapidated place. Like, we filmed at Northern State Hospital, where everybody is now filming their music videos, or like Devil's Tower up in Concrete. Like, we have a lot of those really cool locations that are great for production value. Now everybody uses them, so I'm like, I don't know what we're gonna do for this next record, because I'm like, we've run out of cool places.
You should do what Aaron Jones did and went on the top of the Space Needle. I don't know how that happened. I still am like, I'm a big Aaron Jones fan.
Oh, a hard time. He's a great friend.
Talk about him on
I
the
love him
last couple,
dearly.
like the last episode about him, and
Yeah.
he's that video shoot was incredible, and the dude's absolutely slaying it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think a future show's in order.
I think he's gonna be. I think he's really gonna go down as like a historical person from this.
I think
music
so.
Scene. I think he's cemented himself, and like he and I have worked together on a lot of shit recently.
Yeah.
and I'm. Like stuff I can't talk about yet.
Yeah, not yet.
But we got to play together this last
about
summer,
it
and it was
now.
so cool.
Yeah.
But he's just a great songwriter. He's a great human being.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those. I've been playing shows with Aaron since he was like kid with an acoustic guitar playing Columbia City Theater to like 17 people, and now he goes out with Rolling Stones.
Yeah, it's
and he
insane.
still takes my phone calls. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
Okay.
fucking good on you for being real, dude.
See,
like he's
that's-
Hell
real.
yeah.
We need more
So
artists
real.
like that too. Like if we have a
Lift
nice,
each other up.
yeah, we talk about like a community here and having people lift each other up. And you're one of those people. Like I mean, that's why I'm like, dude, okay, I gotta get Wyatt on this podcast.
My job is to find new bands that are great and have potential and try and help them avoid all the pitfalls that
Yeah.
fucked up careers before them.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the only reason I learned how to do anything was that I had people around me that were like, you're about to make a mistake. Let me help you not make a mistake.
Yeah.
You should
And-
offer mentoring as a service.
See, and I would feel bad charging anybody for it. I'm just like, here, let me help you not be miserable
Yeah.
because I went through a lot of it.
I know people are like, let's sign this contract right here. By the way, it's a 360 deal. We own every aspect of
I
your.
feel like a little bit like because I tell people like that sometimes, like the younger generation who's coming up. Oh man, I'm in a band. I'm like starting to play guitar and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, even tonight, Araya and I were at a party, and I was like, telling one of our friends' sons, like, he plays guitar, and he's like, just all about it, and he's ready to go, and he wants to play in a band, and I'm like, these are the things that you need to realize that you have to be
Ready for.
involved with and ready for it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, you can't settle for mediocrity either.
No.
Like I've jammed with a bunch of people that were like super hyper skilled at their instrument.
And how many of them have successful careers now?
It's tough. It's a very tough point, like, because you could find somebody who is like extremely just willing to be, a part of the music, and they might not be that good. But the thing is, when they're slapping the bass every single day, and they just end up learning how to do it, and they're just a part of the band. And it's like, I love that. That's so refreshing. Yeah. But some people are just like super good at everything, and then you can't ever get them to band practice.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
And the business side of it is like, I think the coldest reality I've had in the last few years is realizing, for the most part, talent and passion are less important in the
arbitrary.
success realm. I've realized my friends, aside from a few, like Aaron, aside from a few, my friends who are constantly on tour and doing well are very heavily financially backed.
It's all about who you know.
Yeah.
That's
It's
kind of what
also
it is.
just what you can afford.
Upfront
Like,
Yeah.
capital.
The buy-ons are
dude,
crazy
for
right now.
me. Like, so Wreckage is working on a really great record right now, and we didn't want
Wait.
to.
Hey, let's promote.
Let's plug it.
Oh,
Plug it right
yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah.
Plug it.
We're not announcing anything yet, but one day, just know that the next record we're doing, I'm so proud of, and it's going to be incredible. We, however, don't want to release anything yet because we wanted representation first that could
Yeah.
really push it.
Yeah.
So I've taken like 20 or 30 meetings in the last year with like high-level music managers. And the most crushing thing I realized is that 98% of those interactions consisted of, so you pay me this salary every month, and I name drop you to all my famous friends. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, what's our result from any of that? And it was, no, I make sure that, you know, my friend who works for Sirius or something
Yeah.
like that, here's your name a couple times.
It's just
Yeah.
plugging.
And I was like, and these are guys who want
So what you're telling me
$5,000
is
a
there's
month.
a chance.
Oh yeah, no. So you're saying there's a chance.
Saying
And
there's a
some
Okay, Lloyd.
Some people have $100,000 to set on fire,
But not everyone does.
we don't. And that's kind of the sad reality of it right now is that like everybody's kind of on their own and just hoping
Yep.
the great eye of Sauron
Sees
them
you.
for a moment.
You gotta let them know that
That's a good way of
you're
putting
right.
it.
And the darkest thing to realize is that nobody's gonna give you your dream except you.
100%.
And it comes down to like not only the financial backing of it. Like there's so many people, right? Even if you have that, it might not be enough because then what do you get for these people that to hop on? That's why like you look at all these success stories and you're like, how did this person get from this point to this point? And a little bit of luck, a little bit of momentum, financial backing, all sorts of these things, marketing.
Well, also to interject there is that, you know, it's like you got to be like hyped on TikTok.
Yeah.
You got to be hyped on Instagram. You got to.
I'm the anti-TikTok guy.
No, that's what you got to do.
I
now.
know, and I hate
You know, it's
it,
like,
and I know I'm gonna have to do it on the
You can't just have a
next
bunch of
record.
dudes super high on coke and like come to your show and be like, "Yeah, this band rocks, man. You guys are getting signed tonight."
Unless you
You
turn
know?
it into a caricature and put it on TikTok, then we can
Alright,
try.
yeah.
Well, real quick, guys, hold on. Real quick, we're going to cut to commercial break for a second, get ourselves a little refill. You know, so yeah.
Then we got more questions.
And we got more questions when we get back.
Are you tired of your drummer's stick slipping? Are you sick of every show the drumstick flies in the audience and hits someone in the face? Introducing Drum Goo.
Apply generously. Lather and grip. Now you're ready to rock.
Ever since my drummer's gotten drum goo, his grip has been impeccable.
Ingredients include sulfates, parabens, and your mother's toe jam.
Extra sticky.
This'll do the trick. Just give your drummer some grip.
Oh no, I think I'm stuck.
Here, let me help you.
On the chance that this stuff might cement and harden, and you're hard for more than 4 hours, call a doctor.
A dab of goo will do. Is keeping your drummer in time tricky? Get some drum goo. Keep him sticky.
Now on sale for $420.69.
No, drummers were harmed in the making of this.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're back with your favorite local butt rock messiahs.
Yeah, I love that. Welcome to Canecast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all the things. I'll just have them pop up right here.
Yeah,
Let's go back to that. So real quick.
No. You had said a really great thing a minute ago. You had said nobody's going to give you your dream but you.
Yeah.
And that is also a big thing that I talk to young musicians about all the time where I go, so what is your dream? Like it obviously like we would all love to go open for Metallica in stadiums. We would all love that. But as far as your version of your dream, I feel like depending on how you alter that, that also changes how happy you are in this business.
Absolutely.
Because I grew up idolizing massive bands, but also I grew up idolizing. My dad is very good friends with one of the guys from like the Butthole Surfers, and like that band will never be talked about in a top 100 list. That band will, but that band is still like respected, but they all got to live lives, and for me, I think that that's closer almost to what I want. Is like I have no desire to tour 250 days a year.
Yeah.
That's my. I would love to tour 100 days a year, but like,
What if you're touring in luxury though?
see, and that would be great. I'm there for that. But if we're roughing it, like, I'd love to do 100
Out
days a
there
year.
with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, right. Like that would be amazing.
Sitting on like $2 billion. Yeah.
But as far as like the dream, I'm very okay with being respected by my peers and making music that people love, connect with, and take with them as like the soundtrack to their lives.
Yeah.
I'm okay not paying my bills with this if it means that I still get to have my like artistic integrity and
and you get to be happy with what you do.
And I still get to be a present father, and there's things like that. Like, obviously, we would all want more, but one thing I've realized is, I guess my segue is going to be asking everybody kind of what their dream point is for this. But one thing I will say is that I get to feel like I achieved my dreams. Like, I got to play a sold out showbox and like go to venues that I grew up saying, one day I'll play here. And I got to sell that bitch out. And so I got to live that dream.
Yeah.
And I still get to live my dream, and it's still a continuation of it. That has made me a happier musician because I've realized, like, yes, we're always focused on the next 6 rungs on the ladder, but I'm so fucking grateful for the rung I'm
now.
at.
Hell yeah.
And that's a very stoic way to put that.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Cheers to that. No,
that's very stoic of you, and that the present is very important.
Yeah. Well, and I guess so for you guys, like, what is the dream for you guys? Like, obviously, dream big, want the Metallica thing, but like, at what point would you go, you know what, I'm satisfied?
Can I start on this?
Yeah,
one?
That's the curse because as musicians, we're never satisfied.
We got Joe.
So mine's a little interesting. I'm going to start with my band first because it's been in a rut for a long time. So just having music out in general is like number one.
It gives you purpose.
Like 100%. Having something that you believe in for yourself and that you love. Of course, I want it to affect more people, but something you can feel and sell on stage through your soul is very important. And that's why I'm lucky to have these people and be in Josh Kain, honestly, because I do feel it in my soul. And it wasn't something I ever like, I got into this band to play with my friends and it became so much more for me. So that's a pretty powerful thing, honestly, to have it just hit you instead of, to not anticipate it is very powerful. Honestly.
You also have the most talented friends surrounding you, so
dude,
it worked
right?
out well.
Except for Josh.
Except for me. It's how I feel in Wreckage, though. I'm like, my name might be at the front of this. I'm the least talented member of this band by far.
But just having that stuff out there, like I have people that they come out of the woodworks, people that didn't know me in high school. Because I don't know if anybody knows this, but this just happened. But I have people seeing me on the internet, and they're like, "That's Joe from high school."
He just got hot.
He just got hot, baby.
Smokes pot once.
He's a man?
That's Joe Pepe. He's so hot right
So
now.
hot right now. In
But
Will
yeah,
Ferrell's voice.
So it's just beautiful to be doing something. Honestly, to be happy with that, no matter what it is, to have that thing out there, to have that CD in your car is it for me.
Oh, yeah. And somebody's having an awful day and something you created helps save them.
Absolutely. That's just more cream on top.
That's like the connection for me is I always go back to being like a kid and I'm like listening to like Linkin Park and I was like, Chester Bennington fucking understands me.
Yeah.
And like that's what I
relate.
seek to do for others.
Connecting to music. I mean, really at the end of the day, that's the most important things. There's songs that I listen to now that I did when I was like 10 or 15 or even like the middle school. My middle school soundtrack was insane. Yeah. All the different things I listened to.
All the small things.
You left me about there.
I'm just gonna ruin that.
They were just talking about old Josh.
Okay,
who else's dreams?
Who else's dreams? Here, I'll go next. I think all in all, every musician essentially kind of wants to be immortalized in some sort of way.
Drummer for Lamb of God, I knew it.
Well, we all kind of want to have our, imprint on history in some sort of way.
Yeah.
We want to be kind of remembered in some sort of way,
Legacy.
For how we play or our creativity or our musicality. And, it's kind of something that you're always a little bit chasing, and you want people to accept what you're creating as well, which is even harder, because sometimes you create something that just sucks, and it's hard to come to terms with that, but for me, I just, I'm always in the back, You know, I'm always I'm just the drummer. But I'm holding the beat down for the rest of
heartbeat,
the rest
baby.
Of the band. I'm trying to be the heartbeat, and I'm trying to make that thing that everybody dances to.
You're so fucking humble too, because
Yeah,
like I'm sorry, I know drummers that are half as good as you who are just like, I am God.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there, I'm
no
just
God.
the drummer.
Hey man, I've done too much DMT for that.
No ego.
Ego death. Ego death,
Ego
bro.
death.
Yeah, ego death is a great thing. You know, it's really nice because you actually understand that like people are just people, and you know, everybody is one, and we are all together. You know, I love the music that Josh creates. I love the music that Arad creates. I love the music that you create. I hate the music that you create. But
Damn it.
This podcast is brought to you by Teletubbies.
Yeah.
The Teletubbies.
But all in all, you know, I mean, the end result, you know, like what I'm kind of looking for is, you know, that kind of like immortality of my music to live on.
That footprint.
You know, and actually touch somebody and get to the heart of somebody and go, you know what, life's not that bad.
Yeah.
Because I've gone through a lot of things in my life. Definitely depression, like
Hard
crazy. And you know what, just there's been times where I just listen to even just another drummer, and it just brings it out of me, and I go, I can't die until I'm better than him.
Yes. Yeah.
Gives
I
you
can't
motivation.
die until
This
that.
segued
You know?
to, like, after we talk about dreams, this did also segue to a great idea of, like, what song saved you?
What
Oh,
song
yeah.
saved
100%.
you?
But yeah, all right.
Anyways, yeah, I'm done with that.
You're good. Dream-wise. Like,
What's your right?
Dream-wise? What are dreams?
there we go.
She's like,
Dreams
REM
when we
sleep
sleep.
only happens
Yeah.
at
Fucking
the
fake.
full moon.
If you're like me, you only have nightmares.
I love that song.
Life
My
is
sleep
but a
paralysis demon and me are homies.
This is a
Oh my
nightmare.
God.
I don't know. That's tough. All I can think about is the feeling I get when I am in the zone, when I'm like channeling whatever
The muse.
greater thing, or
The muse.
the muse. Yeah.
That's what I call it. at
Great
least.
band, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a hard truth.
Definitely.
No, that's incredible.
I don't know.
But
yeah,
that
it's
that
hard to-
moment's the dream. So it's not like a tangible like end finish line thing. It's the feeling for
I
you.
think I try to bring myself back to the moment when I'm in that mindset.
Yeah.
You know, like when I'm channeling, when I'm creating something, and I'm like vibing with it, and I'm like downloading information from the ether. You know what I mean?
That's like the purest answer of any of us.
Yeah.
Like just, I want to be one with like I don't know, if you're anything like me, like to me music is God. Like the way that like shows are my church. Like that's
Yeah.
like
100%, yeah.
on stage I feel like that is an act of worship. When I
Yeah.
perform, that is like me offering that up to like my belief.
You're the reverend.
Yeah,
you are.
Reverend
Which
Wyatt,
I am
you
technically
technically are a reverend now.
What did Nikola Tesla quote? It was like think in terms or think in like frequency. What was it? Vibration, frequency, and light, or something like that. You know, and so
Yeah.
music. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
essentially.
But being in that moment, like I think that is the purest like desire for music.
Pure ecstasy.
Yeah,
about you, Josh?
the purest.
Well,
the Molly of
You
dreams.
know, I think for me, things have evolved quite a bit. I think when I first got into music, you know, it was an incredible experience to like have an idea pop into my head, and then as I progressed in my ability to play instruments, I was able to replicate whatever's in my mind. I'm able to now replicate in sound. Yeah. So even like this last EP I recorded, like I remember sitting in my girlfriend's condo, and Manifest, for example, is written on the back porch. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there, and I have this like crap, you know, like the iPhone little keyboard, sitting there typing, you know, just like like this melody that was in there. It ended up being like the synth that's in that song. But I think the dream is being able to just create those things out of thin air that are in your head and do that. And as far as aspirations for aside from even the creation point, reaching goals, you know, like playing venues, selling places out, there's a lot of things that have even manifested like in this last like manifest. Plug it. Even in this last 2 years, it was a dream to even have like even being on a KISW or having the local music scene in Washington even regard me in any light or give me any kind of affirmation. It was a weird thing these last 2 years because I mean I've been in it for a long time doing music, and I'm sure all of us know that feeling when like people just don't give a not listening, and that's at the end of the day. As long as I'm creating, I'm already happy. I'm at bliss and pure peace.
And I love that. Also, like, side note, like, for being a new artist, you guys have been very embraced. Like I try and always keep my ear to the ground of, like, I care less about hype and I care more about respect.
Yeah.
Like who's respected as an artist or, like, or when somebody speaks with reverence to an act. Yeah, I haven't heard a single person talk shit about you guys. Like everybody's very big on like that band will do great.
I'll talk shit right now.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, they're talking.
Oh, hold on, Dylan. Are we gonna drink whiskey and talk?
Oh,
Daddy brought some fun.
Hey, so
just give me a lick.
Wait, hold on.
Give me a lick. Okay.
Communal
Fireball.
fireball.
Can I get a little load up, little fireball?
Oh, you guys want me to puke?
No.
So we load up. We roll
And then
out.
we vomit?
So I throw up in your mouth.
I mean, don't do that. That's bad.
Are we doing this right now?
Oh, wait,
Yeah,
we
we'll
got,
check it.
we got the next
until Dylan
question.
falls
too.
off.
we out here with Reverend Wyatt. We're taking some holy water.
All right, Wyatt, we got another question for you.
Oh, there we go. You mean I'm not sidetracking the podcast anymore?
Sub
you're
or
doing-
Dom?
Are we doing this? That was asked on a
You know what?
challenge.
Surprisingly, decently sub.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Can confirm.
We've determined that Wyatt is definitely a sub.
Yeah, 100%. The kind of sub that goes to see the Titanic and it doesn't go well. Oh.
It's sad, though.
Wait, hey, yeah, let's spill one out for the homies.
Spill one out for the homies.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
For the
Titanic.
Load up.
And his inability to find a wife that's over 25 years old.
Oh, my God.
All right.
That was quick.
So, Wyatt, what is your process on putting a show together?
Oh, shit.
Well, he goes out in the street naked. First off,
For a hometown, you always want to have it be. I'm a very big fan of every show feeling like an event, like when we did like the triple headliner show we have coming up, which like it's something different. Give people something. I'm a big fan of like the circus mentality of come see the greatest show on earth.
Yeah,
and I'm very big on like. It's funny when it comes to bands that I want to play with, I care less about like are your songs great, and I actually care a lot more about what you do between songs. So like
The actual performance.
Yeah,
You
if
want a good
somebody's come to see a Wreckage show in the last 3 years, one thing you'll notice is maybe at one point or maybe a second point during the entire set, do you hear silence? I'm very big on this song goes into this song that goes into a music bed that's going to
No
build
awkward.
to this
yeah,
song.
no dead time.
I was a theater kid, so to me it is a presentation. So like that's why I'm a big fan of like one thing that's our next goal is like having a lighting rig we travel with. That's like I want to basically tell the house guy
who does your lighting?
We bounce between a few people, but like.
Dude, we got Renton.
Yeah. We're gonna use Renton for these upcoming.
You
shows.
got it. He's so good.
He's the boy.
Dude, he's so good.
But it's shout out to Renton.
Yeah, shout out to Renton.
I love giving Renton hugs.
He's the boy.
I just married him and his lovely wife.
Wow.
Oh, congratulations.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Yeah. When they were calling me the Reverend, they weren't kidding.
No. You looked great in it.
Oh, thank you, buddy. It's I'm very big on how a show flows, and I was a drama kid. I want the whole show to flow like a presentation. Yeah, because again, like big My Chemical Romance fan. Like I want to go to a show and like, dude, my biggest goal for Wreckage is I want Wreckage to get big enough to hire like ballroom background dancers. Like I want the stage moving. I want or like growing up and seeing Iron Maiden, and I'm like I want shit to blow up. I want Eddie on stage. Like I want shit like that.
We got Olney.
I always had this great idea for like a hardcore band. You know, I mean, like we're talking hardcore dancers, right?
Yeah.
But you have like it's like Britney Spears, right?
Yeah.
And you got like a screamer just, but the background dancers are hardcore dancing, but it's like choreographed.
Yeah,
That'd be sick.
Yes.
I mean, come on, Knocked Loose. What the?
Oh my God. Can I just say that Knocked Loose, I'm a fairly new fan of, but as soon as I heard that Deep in the Willow song they put out not long ago, as soon as he hit the Knocked Loose, mother, I was just like, oh, you're the greatest band ever.
Yes.
Dude, he's got such a high pitched like scream.
Dude, Wyatt, let's get a scream right now.
Let me get it.
Plus,
Yeah, baby.
plus the follow up. Everything is quiet now. That is.
Oh, dude,
oh my
so
god.
good. Well, and it's one of those, like, I was introduced to Knocked Loose as this is a SpongeBob core band. and it sounds like
I'm ready.
Yeah. Gary. It's exactly
I'll
how
never
Knocked
not
Loose.
hear that now.
I just ruined Knocked Loose for you.
Thank you.
But as far as like putting together a show, like I want great bands. One thing that we've been criticized for in the scene a little bit is a Wreckage show typically costs $5 to $10 more than another like local show. And the way I see it is when you come to a Wreckage show, every band on that bill is going to be spectacular and really sharp and really on the ball. You're not seeing open mic artists. You're seeing like, I'm very big on keeping an ear to the ground for like new, incredible bands and like, what can I do to help nurture you and raise you up? And what's heartbreaking is that some bands just can't stay together. So like, I've done a lot of that just to watch it all fall apart. And I'm like, you know what? It's cool. But I think that that's how I give back because there are a few people like Glenn Cannon who helped me so much. Like nobody would know who the fuck Wreckage was if it wasn't for Glenn coming along and like being like, I'm taking you under my wing and showing you the way. So I think that I feel like my like karma is to pay that back to other bands. So when we put together a show, like I want to make sure that that whole show flows. The performances are great. I tend to coach if we do bring a like young band on. I'm big on like, how much dead air are you going to have in your set? Like I'm very big on that. Just like instill good habits.
That's a heavy question,
isn't it?
Absolutely.
Like,
dude. For some people, they'd be like, I don't know.
And I can't hang with that. Like
are you going to be tuning?
You're retuning?
Yeah, right.
Well, and that's why it's nice to have, I mean, at least for us, we do like sequences, like musical sequences in between our songs, so there's never dead air.
Same.
Ever. And there's a certain amount, like Dylan gets most of the cues in the headphones for when we're ready to rock. And I mean, absolutely, it can be awkward when you're playing with a band and they're just like, so this next song is, it's called
You know, I'm not gonna lie. Like when you're watching like a really heavy metal band, and they're like, "This next song's called," and I'm just like, "Yeah."
But it's the 45 to 50 seconds before that where they're just like kind of quiet, like everything. People are done clapping, and there's just complete silence. Everyone's like.
So, anyways, like that's for me. Like, you've already lost.
Yeah. So anyways,
honestly, as stupid as it sounds, all my frontman banter and shit, I'll practice in front of the mirror with no shame.
That's how you
theater kid, baby.
I will sit there and like, bro, I played Danny in Grease in high school. Like, I know my lines.
I know my lines.
Wyatt's just naked in front of the mirror. He's just like, yeah.
It all makes sense now.
So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, this next song is about freedom.
This next one's Grease Lightning.
So it sounds like you have. I mean, I love that. So it sounds like putting the event together. What I love about the two is I definitely like I feel that on the same level of making it exciting, making people want to come because you're competing with national bands. Like, how do you make it exciting like them?
You
and
offer
to do like
free
when
naked
you
hugs.
when you come up
That
with
too.
a concept like the slot machine for a triple headliner.
Yeah.
Incredible concept.
Oh well, and it's
With your
just-
mouth.
It's that you are competing for people's time. Like what I will say is, post-pandemic, there was another little burst in the music scene, but ever since, dude, people realized they don't have to go out and spend money. You have to give them a fucking reason. Like my goal is with every show, it's the same reason. Like I try and if we're not on tour, I try and like hurt myself on stage. Like I want to go so hard that I'm like bleeding at the end of the set.
Dude,
I'm like,
we're putting on a performance. We are. We really are. We're putting on a performance. We're bringing all of our
summoning
equipment
demons.
to the venue. We're setting it up. We're
give them a spectacle.
Exactly.
That's
and the thing is,
spectacle.
and that's what you're paying for. It's like, I'm sorry, like. We're not paying for like small stuff anymore, and the thing is like also, prices have raised and everything.
Everything's going up.
Well,
so the shows are going to go up a little bit, and $5, like it's people have also devalued music to the point to where streaming has us at a place where it's basically like people are just like music's going to be free, and it pretty much has become that. And you know,
can we talk about
can
that?
we talk? We can talk
it.
about this.
Can I talk about a perspective?
I know
Yeah,
why
give me
it's
the
got it.
perspective.
This is what changed my fucking life when it came. So
Mic drop.
perspective, and I've talked about this publicly. I don't always feel bad for the price of our shows because I know that it's a damn good show, but also
Yeah.
we spent 30 grand on our last record as far as the promotion.
Yeah.
Like 10 grand for the record, like 20 grand on promotion, music videos, marketing material, all
Yep.
of that stuff.
Yeah, this is no joke.
And we're not well off people. So what I will say is the game changer for me, and most musicians cringe when I say this, it is 2024. Music is free. Music is 100% free. However, if you stop viewing your album as this precious work of your heart and soul, and which it still is, but if you start to realize that it is an advertisement for your live show, that changes the game.
Changes the
because
game.
you go, okay, this is my investment in my business for the next 2 to 3 years. Yeah. And that starts to make it feel less shitty, because if you spin the right show right, you can make a couple grand and then you're recouping that cost. Don't get me wrong. Wreckage spent like 30 grand. I'm willing to bet we recouped 4.
Yeah,
but like,
and we're all pissed about the payout from streaming. Everyone is.
yeah, but it's one of those, like, I think that as soon as I realized that music is just free, like this is something you can take with you forever, and it's also an advertisement for a live show. Like, if you love this and it connected with you, please come see us live. Please buy merch. Like, that changed how shitty I felt about it, because initially I'm like, man, I like put my heart and soul into this, and we made $20 off of it. Woo! And you know what? That's fucking okay, because that shouldn't be why we make music anyway.
Yeah, no, because I mean, at the end of the day, we're doing this because we love it. Because if we didn't love it, it sucks, dude. Putting all the money down on music videos alone, recording the process, it'll eat at you.
It is.
Well, you should be reciprocated for that. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit.
It's one of those things where I just believe that we put on a great show. Like, my band is so passionate about being a live band that it's like, I know that if you see our band, like, I would put our band's live set up against pretty much anybody, and like, with pride. And like, obviously not like stadium level. Like, we're not shit next to Iron Maiden, but like, we're that passionate about the live experience seeing us. So I feel okay with what we charge. Like, and it's not like it's ridiculous. Like, a lot of people during the pandemic spent $30 to stream a movie at home.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, like, you can pay $20 to see like 4 curated incredible
a lot of people
acts.
don't want to leave their house after the pandemic.
Yeah, and we're still fighting that in this part of the country. That's part of why we tour more to places like Idaho, Montana, Nevada, where the pandemic, not to say it like didn't happen as much, but like culturally life moved differently for them afterwards. And people are very passionate about going out. There's not the apprehension.
Well, and you going on that
Fearlessness.
last tour, the Wreckage tour, where you went through Montana and stuff, right? This
Packed out,
dude. See, and
dude, we need to get you guys, like, I would love to take you guys to Missoula, Montana, and Moscow, Idaho. Moscow, Idaho, people sleep on that market. We're a Seattle band, and we can pack that room.
Right, because they don't really have much going on over
I
there.
think-
And it's a college town, and it's a blue town in a red state, and like, people are really, really into experiencing culture that comes from here to there.
Dope.
I think that I smell a Kain and Wreckage tour. coming
I
soon.
very much think
hey,
that.
We got a tour
The
rig now.
stench is-
We got a tour rig. I'll show it to you.
Yeah, you got a tour rig, which hey, you want to take some of our gear too? We'll
Just to
consolidate.
put it in, consolidate,
Can
baby.
we, can we just take Wyatt with us?
Can we just take you, baby?
I'll just.
We got an
open
extra
it.
seat. We got an extra
We got an
seat.
extra seat,
Oh,
man.
wait, Wyatt can just
baby.
replace Josh.
By the
just replace
by
me.
the way,
Finally.
I can't hit all them notes.
by the way, Josh has installed a 30-inch flat screen TV in.
No, actually, no. I put a real dude. I'll show it to you after.
It's gnarly.
After the podcast,
and we're gonna
geek
play
out.
Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, we'll play
Hey,
Super Smash
we're
Bros.
gonna
Yeah,
go
Switch.
into another segue here.
Yeah, it's a little segue.
So,
I'm drinking for the segue. Go
yeah, I
ahead.
know, right? Well, what band or bands would you play with in the future? Like, or, we're talking with like
Goal bands, like if I could only, or
Party foul.
like, do we mean local or national?
both.
Both.
I mean, think bigger picture.
I would give anything to tour.
He wants to tour with Bad Omens.
Bad Omens. Yep.
No.
I would give anything.
Breaking
to tour.
Benjamin, though. Right? Come
Well,
on.
and getting to play with them was life changing.
Did you say breaking bread with Benjamin?
Breaking bread with Benjamin?
I'll break that bit.
I love to play with Breaking Benjamin. It's funny because like obviously everyone wants like Metallica. It's weird because my musical interests are so vast, but like bands I would love to play with are actually heavier than Wreckage, so I don't think their fan base would dig us as much. Like, I would open for Architects.
Oh my God.
Architects is one of the...
Dude.
Yeah.
Holy Hell is...
Motherfucking
yeah, dude.
I love that.
Their record, Holy Hell, is the best record about grief in
Holy
the
Hell?
world.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
dude,
that
it's
record
great.
saved my life. So, like, playing with them would be great. There's new bands like Dayseeker that I really...
Yeah,
and
they're
they're not
great.
even
Dude,
that
you
big.
like
But they're
Dayseeker?
good.
I
That's
love
awesome.
Dayseeker.
Yeah.
Kyle and I are super
What
into
about
it.
Dayshell? Have you ever heard of them?
No. Were you gonna? Is that a fake band, and you were gonna try and catch me?
No,
Yeah.
we're gonna show you that.
You ever heard of Deviled Eggs?
Okay, wait. What about Night
Dayshell?
Versus?
Night
Versus?
Well,
Yeah, we were
talking,
talking about Night Versus.
What about Daybreak?
Dayshell?
Daybreak.
I feel like every band has a song called Daybreak.
that?
Dayshell does this really cool thing. So he kind of sounds like Chester.
Oh,
You know,
okay,
he
cool.
has that like
Yeah, yeah.
Chesterness, but it's like really genty. And it's, so the singer, he writes like everything. He plays bass, he plays guitar, and he programs all the drums and stuff like that. But it is just so like his lyrical content just speaks to me. I love it.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's insane.
And it's almost this like happy metal. Like it's like happy gent.
I dig like happy metal. Like dude, Bring Me the Horizon's doing a lot of that right now. Speaking of bands, I would love
They
to play
evolved,
like,
man.
Yes.
Do you remember when
Yeah.
they were
We
grindcore,
saw-
deathcore?
dude, yeah, like
Wyatt,
Count
we
Your
saw
Blessings
Bring
era.
Me the Horizon and fucking Sleep Token together with
Unprocessed.
Unprocessed.
Damn.
That's
Yeah.
spectacular.
It was
Oh
amazing.
no, it was ridiculous.
And they've
Well,
evolved a
like
ton.
3
Well,
years ago,
and
4 years ago.
everything that Araya just said is true. Like, people can talk all the shit they want about certain eras of Bring Me the Horizon. However, think of what it takes to be a band who still hits #1 with just about every release.
Yeah.
20 some odd years into your career
gotta evolve your
without
sound.
missing, really.
Yeah.
Like,
Count your blessings.
yeah. And
Well-
now
well-
it's like, dude, remember when they put out like that? You need a taste of your own medicine. And I was
Yeah.
like, what is this? And then 2 listens in, I was like, oh,
Holy
this is
shit.
spectacular.
And to come from something like Alligator Blood
Just-
And to be able to evolve, like a big thing too is some of these bands that are starting to kind of lean towards like people actually like these poppy choruses or things that people like to sing along to. You know, you're bringing a whole new demographic in, and that's also where they're at with their writing too. Some people will be like, "Man, this sucks." It's like, dude, no, this is where they're at now. People evolve and they change in their art, and a lot of people have trouble accepting that, or they get gatekeeper. Like it's like Metallica went through the same thing
with
right?
load and reload. Yeah.
You know,
we can all
Those
talk
people
about there's
become
no
background noise.
bass
Saint
and
Anger
Saint-
snare.
Yeah, let's not talk about the Saint Anger thing though. Right?
The snare.
dude, just there's something about a hook and a chorus that just hurts somebody's metal vaginas.
Yes.
My favorite thing is 4 chords and the truth.
Yeah,
My
that
favorite was
4 chords in the truth.
God damn
That's
it.
Yeah.
plug that in. 4
That's,
chords. Quote Wyatt.
And the false.
20 years from now. 20 years
We're
from
just gonna
now.
send a picture up here. It's just Wyatt, just like
As quotes. 4 chords in the truth. Also, I remember the funniest thing I ever heard. I remember, so I used to play guitar for, I did a tour with He Is We, and they're pop.
Yeah.
Absolute pop.
Absolutely.
yeah, he keeps bragging about that.
Well, no. The point I'm going to get to that's funny.
I've never
is
He
heard
is
of
who?
them.
The drummer of He Is We at the time, Benjamin Charles, which shout out, I love you, Benjamin. And he said the funniest joke. Well, that wasn't a joke, but a drummer was talking about all these complex stuff, like, yeah, I can play like 6/9 and like 320 BPM per second. And then
You just hurt my head right there.
I know. Imagine that. It's just like this.
Play 69.
But the drummer was trying to like super brag to Ben, and Ben's like, well, you know what? That's really cool, but I'm gonna play 4/4 and tour the world. So, fuck off.
Dude, it's...
I know. It was
Burn.
I run into that a lot with the creation of music where like people want to change it up and make it so because like
Complicated.
at the end of the day, like I'm a songwriter. Like I don't view myself as a guitar player. I don't view myself as a singer. I'm just a fucking songwriter, and my job is to get on stage and make you feel something.
Yeah.
And however we want to do that, like Pepe and I were talking before we started recording, like nobody's going to expect the direction of the next Wreckage record because we've always been the like dual guitar shred band, which is still in there.
Yeah.
But like what I'm leaning into way more is synths and like distorted pianos.
Yeah.
Because that's the future.
And there's so
Mariah's
much.
a G at that.
We should talk about that
Yeah.
production.
No,
line.
she
about
is.
that.
She's a straight G at that.
Because it's one of those things where I was like, I feel like the last Wreckage record, shout out, it's right there at the end of the table.
Yeah, let's check it out. Hold on.
I feel like with that record,
Let me see it. Get this in. Right here, guys. Check it out. Wreckage. Do you have Swan Song in here?
yeah, Swan Song's the last
So,
track.
real quick,
Wreckage
note,
for your
10-second
butthole,
shout
by the
out to
way.
Swan
Yeah,
Song.
yeah.
There's
Put the
both an
halo.
acoustic version of this, and you have a rock version.
Yeah.
Which is something that I
Yes.
love doing myself, and I listen to both, and I love it.
Dude, I think that's so smart. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me touch on that one real quick. I love the fact that you guys do the hardcore versions and stuff, and then you do the
Unplugged
broken
version.
down and
Yes.
acoustic versions of it, because it gives another aspect to it. It gives another feeling.
Yeah.
And you know what? I gotta say, like, you know, some of the bands that I listen to, like especially like North Lane, they're so heavy. Some of their stuff is like Meshuggah-esque, but it's like so just.
Multifaceted.
It is multifaceted.
very ethereal
And
'cause of
then-
the
and then
electronic
they do
stuff
these
that they've been
acoustic
doing.
versions where it just like
Bloodline,
brings a
right?
tear
Wasn't
to
it
your
Blood-
eye.
Yeah.
I think it
and
was
you're like,
Bloodline,
I
yeah.
never thought that this song could be as beautiful
Yeah.
as it could be.
Well,
you know?
and it's one of those, like, I feel like no matter how heavy a song is, no matter how much production is in there, at the end of the day, if you strip it to just the vocal and like maybe a synth or an acoustic guitar, it should be able to hold the same weight. And that's
Absolutely.
my judgment of a song.
See, and I
True.
love that. And a fun little fact for you here is that I on the last record I did, The Great Divide has two versions of it, a rock and acoustic.
I love them both.
And on this one, Anxiety, the song that you like, there's an acoustic version.
Oh shit, I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, the music video is
We're gonna have to
so
show him.
bomb
And it's
for it.
I will show you before you leave today. And it's reimagined to so I consider this kind of like what I did with the other song, The Great Divide, is I slowed it down, I dropped it a half step down, and I totally reimagined the way so all of the melodies are the same, right?
Yeah.
But the tempo's different. There's piano, acoustic guitar,
There you
and
go.
it's very slow,
Yes.
somber, and it completely gives you this different feeling. And
It's
the video,
an atmospheric feeling.
yeah.
Well, so thank you. Our unplugged record that we did
So good, by
after,
the way.
after that, like, so what we did, because we want to do everything different and crazy and stupid, and it was right at the tail end of the pandemic. It's a record called Ouroboros, and it's like 10 or 11 songs.
Yeah.
But what we did is we rented out a studio space, we got an engineer, we hit record, and we played those songs one take. That was our rule. Like, we're going to play 100% live, no touch-ups, no edits, and we're literally just going to sit here, record to tape, and just, like, you can hear, like, the hisses and everything. There's a couple wrong notes on the release, and we were like, well, that's how we played it. Like, and it had a camera crew in there, and it was the weirdest. Like, we were going to put the most pressure on ourselves that we possibly could as a band. And I'm really happy with how it came out. It's really interesting, like, because the whole performance is just, it's like an hour.
Diamond.
Something happens when you just put yourself in that moment and you don't give a fuck.
No, yeah.
You just
and
you gotta get some players, and you guys got them. You gotta get those players that, you know what, we're gonna go and do what we do.
Yeah.
And you know what,
Challenge yourself.
that's enough for me.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and I'm lucky that I'm surrounded by such, like, profound talent, like, and people who are, like, driven, and it's like, hey, we may take over the world tomorrow, or we may crash and burn, and I feel the same amount of passion for either way.
You know,
Absolutely.
Dude, like, isn't it so weird that you're just like born randomly out of nothingness, and then all of a sudden you're like geologically like placed into a certain area where you're
find your
surrounded by
soulmates.
people. You find these people who are just like absolutely amazing at the work that they do.
Yeah, well, and
you know,
people that
Josh and I actually like grew up next to each other. Did you know that?
I heard that.
It was
at some
crazy.
point.
We knew
Yeah,
each other when
he-
we were
he-
about 7 years old or 8. It was we
No,
were
it wasn't even that. It was before that.
because it was around Sam's time, right?
Well, so I moved out of that place when I was 6.
We're from Algona.
Yeah, we're from Algona. Oh, the
Same,
hood.
though.
Yeah, hood Algona.
Which is weird.
But we used to go to the same like little birthday parties and like little hangouts and stuff as kids and stuff. But
And you both had the most spectacular hair in the building.
They're just like,
oh gosh,
You guys walked in like 80s catalogs.
I don't know. I think Araya has like
Araya has
the
some
most,
insane hair.
It's a mop though.
Oh my God.
Stop! It's a mop.
Bro,
I
Get
use
a
it as
bucket
mop.
and a mop.
Can I just... The best move ever would be if you guys had a t-shirt that just said the best hair in the business.
Yeah.
Like, fucking all of you guys. All
yeah.
you
And
guys.
then
What
put
was the-
quots. Wyatt Olney.
But what you said about like just geologically finding out like Kyle who plays guitar in Wreckage, like
Awesome, by the way.
he's so talented.
He's amazing.
For the record, like what I will say, shout out to Kyle.
Shout out Kyle.
The saddest thing for Kyle is 10 times the musician than he is able to be in Wreckage. Like he is a prog head, and he's like if it were Kyle's choice, every Wreckage song would be 13 minutes long, have 16 different movements.
Dude, I'm
and
the same
unfortunately, we're in the kind of band we are, and like I love Kyle that he still shows up passionate for this, even though I keep him in such a box. But like, it's the fact that when I met Kyle, like it changed my life. The way that it like those like soulmate people you carry through your life. I'm like, oh, I will make music with you until I die. Like from the moment I met him.
Well,
And,
it's
like,
probably really cool working with him because he probably puts another aspect to what you're trying to write too. He'll like interject with something that you're going
and it
like,
drives me
oh
crazy.
wait,
It makes me want to slam my head against the wall.
You're like, whoa.
By the way, I think we need a 10-minute drum solo.
Oh, bro. Like even
Okay, hold on.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'll go back to last week.
We need to give you a drum
I
solo
could
at the
literally
set,
pull
though,
up
dude.
this
It'd be
text
sick.
message. I sent him a demo of a new song, and I was like, "We should do this for the record." And he goes, "This is perfect. I have one note." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Can we make it 3 times as long and add 4 solos?"
What is this? A Tool song?
Wow.
Wow.
See, you know what? And that's something I struggled with when I was before. I started like coming up with like my own little formula with writing. I was a guitar head, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like, I want to just crazy guitar solos or nothing, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Well,
the way I
and
wrote.
you're a shredder, and you utilize your reserve really well, which is what I respect.
Thank
I'm
you.
big on reserve. I'm
Thank
like,
you.
I want to know you can shred my face off, but I only want you to give it to me in bursts.
Yeah, a little burst, little. Yeah.
That's how
No.
Josh does it for me.
That's how it does it. And that was a thing, like with my writing, I've become more of the songwriting standard. Like I'm like, I view myself more as a songwriter now than I do anything, because I'm like, I want everything to breathe and to have a place. Yeah. And the guitar, when I initially would be like, all right, I want a 3-minute guitar solo. That's how I used to write when I was like, 16, 17, 18 even.
I think
like,
it's
yeah. And even live, we kind of do some cool stuff like that because I want to showcase that. But then I'm like, okay, now I want the song to be great. I want the choruses, people to remember what I'm saying, the words I'm speaking. But then I want this section where like breakdown, showcase the drums, be like, we'll make this crazy.
And this is why I told Josh to put his guitar down.
Yeah, he's like,
One
you.
thing that I will say that attaches to this, me 10 years ago would hate myself for saying this. Here's one thing I've realized about me as a musician now at the ripe old age of 32. I don't give a if you can shred anymore. Like I don't give a anybody can shred. I don't care how sick your drum solo is. All I give a about is can you make me feel something? Like,
yeah.
That and I realize that
I
is
love that.
That has pulled me back from like on our new record, I used to want to just shred all over the place. I think I've got like 2 solos on this
Dude,
next
isn't
record.
that that's
I
such a
don't-
crazy concept.
Yeah.
too.
Because I don't care. I want you to
in
feel it.
Unhaloed, man. I was like every song I'm just gonna like do a drum solo the whole time.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, I joined, Casualty of God, and it like kind of pulled me back, and it was like, all right, we're gonna let the vocals sing.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
And now
let
you're
the
all
the
taste
vocals ring, and then
this.
now with Josh, it's like. I'm kind of sitting back a little bit more,
Yeah.
and just trying to give that groove, and just try and let everything kind of sing in its own way. And it's kind of one of those things is
Dynamic.
where it's like, I think as like a young person, you have a little bit of an ego, and you have something to show, and you just
Bingo.
really want to like express yourself as like an individual, and like. You just want to be a crazy guitar player. I want to be a crazy drummer. I want to be a crazy bass player. But the thing is, in all, what really matters is, just creating a song together.
Yeah.
And actually allowing everybody to speak.
Dude, and it's one of those things, like, I feel like if the song connects, like, dude, again, we had talked about Bad Omens, that Just Pretend chorus. Here's one thing I will say. That song has nothing impressive guitar-wise. If you had been a guitar player for 3 months, you could play that song proficiently.
Yeah.
Dude, but they can shred if they want.
And they can, and they use their reserve on it, but when that chorus hits... And I cry and get chills.
Yeah. True.
Like, dude, seeing them live and just like, I'm crying in
You're
public.
lucky. You're
like,
lucky.
Yeah.
I want to see him. I want to see him bad.
Next time, let's go together. It's like really good. But it's one of those, like, that to me is the benchmark now. I'm like, can you make me feel something, whether it's happy or sad or regret or loss? Like, can you make me feel?
Like
Absolutely.
Yes.
And you know what? Me as a performer, that is something that's come out for me in this band. You know, I've been in shreddy, very technical bands, and I love that as a player. There's nothing against that. Like Renfield Syndrome was very technical and just shreddy band. But there's something that happens to me when I get on stage with Josh Kain. And it has to do with that songwriting. It has to do with that camaraderie within us, you know, that we love. We have a common goal, and we come out and we make that happen.
Can I make an observation as a Joe Pepe fan?
No.
Do it.
So I've seen you live in most of your bands. Like I've seen you live now for like nearly a decade.
Dude, I was just about to bring up our show at El Corazon, the last Damn the Flood show.
Fuck,
which was horrible.
No, I thought it was
At El
great.
Corazon,
Oh,
remember,
so
the
good.
Seahawks lost. We just got out of the playoffs, and you guys had to go up after everyone's disappointed. Sorry,
That show crushed. Everyone.
That was a good show.
Fucking
But go ahead.
crushed.
Sorry.
People were so angry, so they came and like trauma drank. And
Yes, yes.
By the time we're on stage, like I'm like, oh, we got a circle pit tonight.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
By the way,
kill everyone.
before you keep going, props to you for a badass show logo with
the
your
whiskey bottle?
and the colors and dude, we all had different colors of it. And it was
yeah.
Anyways,
Marketing. I also worked in like business marketing for years, so I'm sure that's part of it.
Shazam.
But one thing I will say, just as a Joe Pepe fan, having watched you in just about every project you've been in as an adult, I like watching you most in Josh Kain because I feel like in every other band I've seen you in, because you are like a very like tactician, like very big on like this note has to be perfect and everything. So you are very big on your pedal board and you are very big on looking at your fingers. When I see you on stage with Josh Kain, I see you present in the moment, looking at your fans, very excited to play for them.
He's got so much energy.
And I
absolute-
feel
yeah.
it so much more. That and I'm like, man, I didn't know Joe could fuck the crowd like
Yeah,
this.
dude.
Like Joe's giving that stare that like implants like fetuses.
Everyone's
and
pregnant.
Yeah,
Joe
like,
is a performer.
18 kids.
bang pregnant, bang pregnant.
But
A new generation.
Dude, Joe live
can I
is
say something
yeah.
about that though? Like Joe, as a singer,
It's so good.
Oh yeah.
it's ridiculous.
So good.
It's Araya too. I'm not gonna lie. These two are incredible singers. I mean, something that just makes you weep at the sight of them. I mean, which is so cool having that within a band too.
content
Yeah.
with just
You know,
playing bass in
it's
this,
such
honestly.
another dynamic. You know, and I keep saying, I'm like, well, yeah, let's get these two back on vocals.
All four of
You
you
know?
are great singers. That's
Me? You really think me?
I think you.
Dylan is not good.
I
love him
I did
so
that one
much.
Jared Dines video where I was like,
You're still a great screamer. Like there's a place for that. There's a
really good like.
Hey,
pitch.
Let's chant.
Like, he
wait, can I
hear-
tell something about? Have you seen that video where I was on
I have.
with the
I have.
metal screaming?
Yeah.
It's fun.
All right.
So I was at the White River Amphitheater, right? And right beforehand, I actually took a bunch of acid. And so my buddy Rich,
Been there.
shout out to Rich. He hit me up and he was like, "Hey, you want to go to this concert? You know, I'm going to Sum 41, Circus
Yeah,
Survive,
yeah.
blah blah blah." And so we end up, going to the place and like, I start like kind of like peeking a little bit right when we get through like security, right?
Oh no.
And I'm having a wonderful time, and I'm great on this stuff, So I just start, walking through the area, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Jared Dines pops up, and he's like, Dylan, what's up, man? How you doing? And I'm like, oh man, what's up? How you doing? And he goes, hey, you want to be on a video? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not?
Can you give me your best metal scream?
And he's like, all right, you ready? 3, 2, 1. And he just puts the mic in front of my face and he goes, give me your best metal scream. And I was like, all right. And I just let out this huge scream. And it was probably one of the most glorious screams I ever could have let out, right?
Yeah. And it ends up being his biggest video.
But what was hilarious about that is, like, if you read all the comments and stuff on that, people are like, yeah, it takes super talent to be able to do that, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, they're, like, comparing to me, like, all these big singers, you know, Cradle of Filth, and, like, you know, like it takes huge talent to be able to do this.
Years.
And I'm literally just high on acid being stupid doing an inward whistle. And
you can't beat that. What we're going to do really quick is we're going to take a quick commercial break.
New merch item alert. Go on to joshkmusic.com and get yourself a JK mug. Yeah, fill that up with your favorite brew, whether that be whiskey, coffee, or Mountain Dew.
Or maybe some water.
While you're there, don't forget to check out our other merch options, such as t-shirts, hoodies, posters, and so much more.
Hi guys, welcome back to Kain Cast. We're back from break. We're going to be doing some of our closing notes really quick. So I figure we would start with, we have a couple things here that'd be good. What is your process for writing a song? What is your process?
It all starts with a melody, and it's typically a vocal melody, and it's typically a hook. So funny enough, I had one on the way here, and I gave myself a voice note, and I just sang a couple pitches, and I was like, that's what this song is going to be. And usually that idea is what everything kind of swirls around.
Yeah.
It's different for every song. A lot of stuff on our last record was the instrumentals were completely written before any of the vocals.
Yeah.
And then there's other songs where I completely write an instrumental around a vocal that I finish. Like, I will write an entire set of lyrics that I have it all in my head, and everything kind of builds there, and I don't have to touch an instrument. That's one of the weirdest things. It's actually kind of a pain in the ass to my bandmates, because I don't know if you guys relate to this. Like, I would say the biggest conflict within Wreckage is that I don't write just a guitar part or just a guitar line. When I go, here's a new song, I've recorded bass, there's solos, there's movements. I know exactly what the drums are going to do at every point.
Your name is Josh.
Yeah. And I feel like every band needs your vision guy. And don't get me wrong, in the room, we can work it, we can tweak it, we can change it, we can morph it into something. But the way I say it to some of my bandmates is, I don't hear the violin, I hear the orchestra. And I don't know. It's kind of a problem because it doesn't allow as much room as a band should have for collaboration. And I hate that. I'm still very good at I'm going to leave this chunk for a solo for Kyle or something like that. Or and I don't really care what the drums do here. All I care about is the snare placement. So I have the pacing down and everything.
Yeah.
But every Wreckage song usually starts with, here's an idea, but it's a completely everything's tracked. There's strings, there's choir vocals going on. And because I don't half-ass an idea, but it's interesting because I always hear it that way pretty much from the get-go.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
To touch on that too, when I'm writing songs, it starts with the melody initially, not even lyrics.
Yeah.
They'll come with some kind of melody, and then from there it all builds in, because it's as soon as I have the hook and the melody, I'm like, okay, I know what key I like to sing this in. So I come up with the chord pattern and the chord structure, and then from there, then it's let's sprinkle the little seasoning salt on here. We'll add in add a little guitar lead here, a little synth stuff, or at least in the newer stuff, it's been piano and synth and certain abstract things, but. Yeah, the melody, that's kind of where it starts from. Then hook.
Totally. Well, and it's also one of those things that's interesting. So if you get a little meta about your band. So where Wreckage is at, so we're working on our 4th record right now. One thing I will say that we learned how to do is that on our earlier records, we sometimes had this idea, but the execution wasn't great. Yeah. So a lot of we tried to do a pop punky song or two on our 2nd record, and it didn't work out great. There's a song called Lights Out that some people really like, but for the most part, we just didn't know how to execute it. Then on that record, there's a song called Magna Carta that basically takes all of those ideas and executes it well.
Awesome.
And so, it's in a different key. Like none of the lyrical themes are the same, but it's like the DNA of the song. You can feel the connection between the two. And so I think like as your career goes on, you start to figure out, I can tell what I was trying to do. I can do this better now.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's almost a way of like reworking and gutting your deep cuts in a way. Like, and I think that that's a cool place in our career to be now.
Yeah.
Is going back and like, well, this didn't work, but I see what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
I think if we did it like this, it would go well, and then you try it. And so, because that's kind of like, Wreckage is like 3 specific things. Like if we have 3 tricks, it's like the kind of like spooky, creepy thing, the big anthemic rock thing, and then the like pop punky bouncy thing.
Yeah.
I feel like those are the 3 things our band does.
And that's, you got your formula, you got your season, man.
What do you guys tune to?
Ooh, this is going to be a fun question. You ready for this?
You guys switch it up?
D's nuts.
Our first 3 records, so everything that is out in the world right now is all standard tuned. Like we were very staunchly the standard tuned band. Like obviously like drop D as well, just to accommodate, like depending on the song, but we were always high. Our new record, half the record is in drop C.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And because we were very big on like, there are very methodical things about Wreckage. Like, notice how Rob is a single kick drummer. Rob could play double kick on everything, but we were very picky about the second we've got double kick and down-tuned guitars, we become a metal band. And then we're not special, because I feel like in the realm of hard rock, Wreckage is special because of what we do, because not many hard rock bands do like dual guitars, super like the anthemic thing, but also have a lot of screaming. It's in a hard rock arena, I feel like Wreckage is very unique. I feel like the second we become a metal band, it's not special anymore.
Okay.
But
So
you can mix like a kind of more softer, ethereal kind of vocal line, like how Bad Omens kind of does that, right? Where they mix
or like
in,
Sleep
the-
Token or something like that.
exactly. I mean,
Should
there's
they
so
play
much
what,
dynamic.
Drop A?
Yeah,
Or is it
exactly.
F?
But
Is it
it's
F or
8
G?
string.
It's funny though, because like to me, I don't hear Sleep Token as a metal band. However, because of purely their drummer, I feel like they're widely considered a metal band.
Yeah.
So that was why I was picky about that. So we stayed standard tuned forever, and we still don't have double kick in our music, like peppered in here and there. But for the most
Little
part,
sprinkles.
we like the single kick like thing, because I feel like that's actually what makes us stand differently. Now that we're in Drop C world and our new record is going to be super like synth heavy, I wonder how that perception will change.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be like, we might have to
Might have
add
to
another
balance
foot.
it
We might
out,
have to add
right?
another foot in here.
Yeah, maybe.
And
not that I also feel like we've been a band enough for long enough and are established enough that I'm also kind of the mind that we can do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
So that's why like
You should.
a lot of the new record we're working on right now, which is funny because most people won't hear it for a long time from now, but like most of those songs started with me sitting and playing a grand piano through a microphone through a distortion pedal.
I feel like I'm talking to myself.
I
love
like,
this.
dude, there's something about distorted pianos and synth that inspired just about every song on this new record so far, and like
That's amazing.
Hell yeah.
I love this.
and it completely changed the way, because I felt like I had run out of ideas. Like, if I'm honest, that record is the best record I could make. I stand behind every
Can I
second.
see it again? Just want to hold
Yeah,
it.
every second of that record.
Guys,
like,
pick yourself up. Wow,
Silver bullet.
record. Silver bullet. Which, I want one of these. Where do I pick one of these up? I want one.
Silver
You can
bullet.
get them on our
for
website, but also
gilts.
you can have that copy.
I can have this copy?
Yes, you can. You can take it with you into the future.
I'll take it in my van.
That's not fair. I want one.
Yeah, but I'm willing to bet you guys will run into this on like your 3rd or 4th record. Is you go, I literally did the best I could, and now this record's been out like 2.5 years. I still stand by every second of it.
Yeah.
I don't hate any part of it. I feel like we made the best record we could make. I don't think I can make a better record. What I can do is make something that's as good but different.
Different, yeah.
And
I love
so
that.
hence like building things from a piano rather than like
I love
or,
doing that
or
too.
synth lines or something like that. Like, I know roughly what key we'll play in. I know we'll do a solo here. But other than that, it's just
it's a new adventure.
feeling it out. And I'm really into weird things like industrial music. Like I'm really into bands that have no guitar and no live drums. And so I'm like getting this kind of, I'm getting to scratch that itch that never existed in Wreckage before. Like in the intro of Swan Song, you get some electronics. This next record is like there's electronics going on at all times under what we're doing, and
Nice.
I love it.
Hey, can I touch on like a little bit of the songwriting and stuff
100%,
like that?
yeah.
So in my own right, I am a songwriter.
Yes, you are.
But
You're a great
the
one.
thing is, like, I'm a drummer. Nobody really thinks as a drummer is like a songwriter and stuff like that.
I've also heard all your other projects too. so, yeah.
But the thing is, what I like to do is, I love programming MIDI. I love programming all the drums and like kind of like pre-production stuff and stuff. And I've done it for many bands actually.
100%.
But the thing is, what I love doing is I know how a song should flow, and I know intro, verse, chorus, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I know how that goes. So what I like to do is I just program drums and I organize it in a way that it makes it into a song. Then what I do is I give it to a guitar player or a singer, and I go, write something to this.
Yep.
And they literally write an entire song beyond my idea.
Yeah.
And it's such an amazing thing to just see what somebody takes and just does off of that. Because the thing is, I'm a guitar player too.
Yeah.
I am. I play guitar.
I've seen you play live.
But the thing is, and I've never played live, but
I've at least seen you play in person. Maybe it was around the fireplace.
Probably some acoustic or something.
Little fireplace.
But I play guitar but the thing is, I always have these melodies in my head.
Yeah.
And so I know how to write a song. But I think what I love most about just writing some drums is just giving it to somebody else and go, hey, make something else out of this. Make something that I've never even thought of would be able to happen.
Yeah.
But I try and put it in a format of a song already.
Yeah.
100%. Intro, verse, chorus, and then they create something where it's like it's astounding. They would never have those ideas without those drum parts. Either.
Exactly. And that's that cohesive, surrounding yourself with great artists. That are able to do that.
Joe and I have worked on many songs together. Or Ryan and I have worked on many songs together where it was just so I made an entire song just drums and I sent it over to Joe, and then Joe wrote all these riffs to it.
I remember getting those drums. I was driving home, and I was just like, I need to get home.
Were they busted?
Right now, and I sent it over to Dylan, and it was nothing like the official printout. This guy took all the riffs and the drums, and he spliced it into a song, and it's just untouchable. I would never change anything about the song that he made.
That's awesome.
Well, and it's one of those things where the more people you work with, there is a project that never came to fruition that was me and Noah Phipps, who played in Window Pane.
Wow.
So we made an entire record together that I don't know if anybody will hear, but it's some of my favorite stuff I've ever written.
Isn't that sad?
It's because, dude, I should play you some of it because Noah is without question one of the greatest, hardest hitting drummers I've ever worked with. And I would send him guitars with no drums and no rules. I would just be like, here's this to a click, come up with something. Or he would send me just nuts drums, again, to a click, just so I can keep pacing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great. And we would just trade ideas, and the structures were weird, and things had more space and just so interesting and different from what we do. I really want that to come out one day. So we'll see. But it's
do it.
Every new person you work with, and share that, writing music together is like making love. We learn something from each other, and you take those tricks you learned from Daddy into the future, and
Every band is a relationship.
It's a relationship.
It is. I'm closer to my bandmates than I have been to romantic partners in my past by far. My bandmates are my husbands.
This?
Yeah.
Touching tips there, buddy.
Yeah, touching tips all day. But it's one of those I would take a bullet from my bandmates quicker than anything
Absolutely.
in the world.
They
Like,
become
without
a
question.
marriage.
Becomes a marriage and a
It's
family.
the best friends that you could ever imagine.
Yeah, well, and especially like once you start like touring together and you're in unfamiliar, like sometimes scary situations with each other, like it's one of those you really learn like who's about it and who's not, and like that's those are like unbreakable bonds for me.
Trauma
Like,
bonds.
yeah, right. Like
Trauma
I
bonds,
firmly
Daddy.
believe that one day when I am, in a hospital bed, I have a feeling like Kyle Gibney is going to be to the side of me.
He's just gonna be chilling there. He's like,
He's going to hold my
"Hey,
hand.
baby, let me hold your hand.
It's gonna be okay.
Play me a guitar solo."
They can play me a guitar solo while I fade
No,
into that.
bands are family though. It's an amazing thing, and it's such an anomaly when you can be with a group of people and everyone gets along. They can share a vision and move.
And your lineup is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I
you
love these
nailed
guys.
this lineup.
So
like
we were
absolutely.
just talking about that when we were setting up before you got here, man. The amount of things that happened
For the staff.
going into this lineup in succession is honestly, it's a story.
Yeah,
It's
it's a whole story in
wild.
It's wild.
There's so many things.
I want an episode of this where Josh interviews Josh and you just digitally
Absolutely.
face-to-face.
No, it's
the story?
such a beautiful moment where we all came together and we realized like it was a start in the Battle of the Bands that we played in. It was just that moment where we did not give a hell and we went in and we played the songs and we all jived and we just something grew from that. That
Did you guys start as kind of like session? Like in a way, like or
So
all fill
what
in
it
for-
literally-
Josh had pre-recorded stuff.
Yeah,
like,
so
he'd
I had
already made.
recorded.
Josh actually moved
Yeah.
in here.
But as
Yeah,
far
yeah.
as like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you guys were just like, oh, I'll go out and play with the homie. And-
Literally, no,
Yeah.
that's actually
And
my
then-
No, wait a
perspective.
second.
I had left a band and I was like, I want to go play with my friends. It was Araya and Dylan and Josh was my new friend. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to play with these guys.
So he was jamming in my dad's band, Renfield
Renfield.
Syndrome.
Yes. Yeah.
So he was over at our place, and we had been talking. I think it was that day because we had just finished, or we had just finished practice with Cameron. Yeah. And we were talking
Yeah.
about getting a second guitarist, and I was like,
Yep.
dude, let's steal Joe.
Yeah, let's get
and
Joe.
you know
And
what?
then-
When I came into this
For the
band,
record, I almost stole Joe at one point.
Right,
So-
everyone wants
Joe's a
to.
hot commodity.
Just
He's
maybe.
off limits.
He's so
No,
good.
he's a hot commodity.
So when I joined this band, though, it's something that I have held dear to my heart. Is I really bring a live sound to a band, and
Oh,
when I
absolutely.
joined and I
he
presented
fucks
Josh
up a lot.
with the Head Rush effects board,
Ooh, it was bad. It was amazing.
everything changed. It was
Juicy.
such a beautiful thing. Josh is such a crazy guitar player, but his rig before was.
Yeah, we needed to have an IR.
And he needed to sound as crazy of a guitar player that he is.
Yeah.
No, we all use Head Rush.
Yes.
all use
All
Head
of
Rush.
us do now.
Join the Head
So,
Rush
how
family.
does it feel to be too broke to afford a Helix? I'm so sorry.
So touch screens.
the
The
one
touch
time-
screens. What
Helix is dope, but it's the Head Rush is so much
Better?
user
You
friendly.
can touch
I
it
get
and
you.
it
User
move pedals.
friendly.
For the record, I run a Helix only to do demos. I've never used it in a live setting. I still use
Yeah.
it.
Oh wow.
Dude, we have these IRs. So Joe got these IRs for like for the live stuff. They sound so good. They're busting.
Oh man.
They're so busting.
Like, we've always been a band where Rob's on ears. I don't use ears live.
I don't have any ears
Really?
either. I want ears eventually.
I'm trying to
I want
convince
to
She's
as
trying to
well.
convince me.
I'm an idiot. You said IRs, and I thought you meant in ears.
Oh no! I want
So
ears.
I'm a
Pulse responses.
No, I got
I'm a
impulse responses.
classic cliche guitar player. I need my shit loud.
Yeah.
So the Head
Stereo.
Rush gave me that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what venue I go to. If
Yep.
they have no monitors or they have monitors, I still can hear myself.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
So this is where we're gonna find out that I'm gonna be like, hey, you want to like fuck around on how to use a Helix? And I'm just gonna be like, can you set this up? So
Oh,
I can
yeah.
Set it
play
up.
live?
Joe can do it. Joe,
Give
I
it
have
to
no
me,
idea.
baby.
No idea
Joe's
what
a total
IRs
nerd
are.
when
I
it
have
comes to
no
that.
idea.
Oh,
I
Joe's
just-
great. He literally was like, Josh, I'm gonna send you these impulse responses through your email. Download it. I'm like, wow, that sounds amazing.
Well,
Let's
not
use
only
it.
that, the first time I came over to his house, I was like, check this out, man. And he
Yeah.
started playing through some lead tones, and he
I'm
was like,
want it. Give it
I
to
was
me.
like, that sounds ridiculous. I
Let's
can't
get
do
it.
that for
Let's-
sure.
He sent me with some cool IRs that just
No.
sounded so juicy.
Well, and I'd love for you to look at. So I'm really good friends with Fluff, who used to
Oh,
be
yeah,
in
Ryan
Drag
Fluff.
Thunder.
Woo!
Yeah. And he was very cool. And I was like, hey, I got a Helix. And so he sent me all of Dragged Under's live tones.
Whoa.
And he was like, just use this. So I literally, all of the demos for our new record are just Fluff's tones.
That's
By the way,
amazing.
Fluff, come on.
Yeah,
we don't
Fluff,
have you
baby.
on.
He's great. Let's
Let's
get
do
Fluff
it.
on, dude. He's awesome.
He's dope.
No, but help me convince Josh to start using an in-ear.
I do need to
for
get in
live
there, yeah.
shows.
You probably should,
It would
just
be
as
amazing.
a vocalist.
Oh,
Like,
I
it's,
think so.
It's one of those.
Dude, like even when I was doing acoustic shows, like
Yeah.
I had to have an in-ear in order to hear myself sing.
Yeah, I honestly, it's on the list. It's on the list.
I would
want
love
it.
to do it. Like, just building an in-ear rig is such a price sink that, like, for us,
I
it
had
makes
cheap
more
10
sense
grand,
to
baby.
have Rob just with his ears.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do one that's like everyone's connected
Yeah.
to. I mean, like I had like a cheapo little in-ear that I used to use, and I mean,
That's
it
for
worked
one
great.
person,
Well,
though.
we're
We're talking about multiple
and we're
people.
currently working on getting like more stuff because our live stage show has like just even the last year evolved a lot from like lighting to so we run everything with program visuals now.
Yep.
All of our songs.
Yep, and I love that.
And yeah.
I have questions for you guys about doing that because we really want to move to
the
lighting.
EAD 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yamaha EAD10 is a stereo mic that sits right on your
Sponsor this
drum
podcast.
kick.
Sponsor this podcast.
It runs to a.
All right, just start over. 3, 2, 1.
It's a lot. EAD10 is a lot to explain. I'm not gonna lie. It is a stereo mic that sits on your kick drum, runs to a drum brain that allows you to trigger your drum set at the same time while having live drums. It is the most amazing tool I've ever used on drums.
So
It's amazing because I use it live every single time.
Yep.
And Joe turned me on to that. So you can run we run all of our production through it. I hear all of like the backing tracks and stuff through it.
Yep.
I hear the click, and then also I can run that mic and hear my live sound through it. But I can hear Josh talking to me at the same time.
Hey.
I can hear everything that's going on out in the audience.
Yeah.
I can hear everything that's going on.
which
like,
is useful because that's what you usually lose with in-ears.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Disconnects
it's like
you.
having that mic there and then having it run through your interface into your ears. It's revolutionary. It's absolutely amazing. And the thing is, it captures your kick drum like a mother. And also, what it does is it just lets you have that clarity. Yeah. Just lets you have that clarity, that nice sound live that you're always wanting as a drummer. Because the thing is, like, as a drummer, you're always gonna get just like, it's just.
So
But the thing is, like, we can actually hear what you're saying for once.
I would
We can
You know the
hear
one-handed
bass
drummer?
nice and all the drums.
The one-handed drummer. What's his name?
It's from
El
El Estapario
Estapario.
Sabiriano. That's the
Dude,
guy that turned
he
me on to the
uses that
AD10.
mic.
The
that
one-handed
is-
drummer.
That is the
One-handed
man that
drummer.
turned me onto it, and it is
Not Def
He's
Leppard.
and not to mention
amazing.
zero latency. Zero
You
latency.
guys have seen him? Yeah, I guarantee you.
The fast guy, the guy that's crazy fast.
Absolutely.
Is he the guy that's
that's
crazy
the
fast?
That's the only mic that he uses on his
The
drum.
only,
What's his name?
The
again?
only.
the only.
Oh,
The
my
only.
gosh.
Shut the fuck up.
Let's talk about real quick before we finish up. I want to go over. Like, do you have any upcoming music that you want to talk about before? I know you got some stuff in the works, right?
We
Like,
got stuff that we. I do know that we're gonna do a different kind of rollout. Than,
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna do. I guess it's similar to our last record, but so we lucked out with Silver Bullet because when the pandemic hit, we had a record 90% done. Yeah. So while nobody could put out music on planet Earth, we started rolling out a new song every 6 weeks.
I remember
And, like,
that.
new video, new content all the time, and we kind of ruled the pandemic. Which
No,
was,
it really it gave you guys an upper hand.
Oh, dude,
100%.
we became such
and it
a
was
bigger
because
band over the
because not
pandemic.
only that, but you guys rolled out bangers.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that has to
Thanks.
do with it.
Yeah, sprinkle 'em in
If
there,
you were
dude.
just releasing music, it doesn't matter. These guys were releasing bangers.
Bangers, baby.
Oh, we jokingly are calling the upcoming album "Oops All Bangers."
Oops, all bangers. You should
but,
title it
Dude,
that.
just make it
title
that.
it all
Yeah, like
Oops, all
and have
bangers.
it be like a Captain Crunch like thing. but-
Yes.
like, like "Oops All Berries"
Or like-
whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that we have taken lessons from other people in the industry. So, like, here's a good example: Falling in Reverse, massive band right now. Tell me when the last time Falling in Reverse put out a full record is.
They've been doing singles.
Nope.
2017.
That's what's
And
Everyone.
They have never been bigger. And Falling in Reverse's model has become, we put out a single. The next week we announce a tour. That tour sells out. We get through that tour. And as we finish that tour, we drop the next single.
Yep.
And they move in like quarters or like thirds of a year. And they
Absolutely.
do the same thing. And so we're kind of looking at it like that because a classic mistake I see a lot of bands make is they go, oh, we're making a record. So we're going to give you one single in the lead up, and then we're going to put out the record. 2 weeks later, all of that music is old news. And you already shot all that
absolutely.
shot.
Yeah.
So we're making a record right now and accepting that there is a chance that the record might not be out till 2026. Like, but you're gonna get new music soon.
Yeah, you're gonna
We're
get
gonna
it.
give it to you in digestible
In doses.
So you'll release singles.
Well, my goal is
From it.
like we're not gonna have filler tracks on it. Period. Like if it's not good enough to be the first single of the album, it doesn't make it to the album.
That's dope.
So
Love that.
Yeah, like
Well, I can't, dude. I'm excited to hear it. Dude.
yeah, like our goal is literally like I want every song. Like if the song is not better than every single song on that record, I don't want it on the next record. Yeah. So and if not better, different.
If not better.
But like as good but different. And
That's
so,
heavy.
That's incredible. No, that's heavy.
It's just the thought of like I don't want to put out filler anymore. And
You just want
dude,
rock
live
solid
sets are hard
content.
enough for us. Do you know how hard it is to play for less than 75 minutes with the like amount of material we have? So I'm like, oh, let's be choosy about it. Like let's like I don't want to put out something that's some people might like. I want every single song on this next record. I want somebody to go, fuck.
That's
the
my
moment
favorite
that-
song.
Yeah, every single time. And whichever thing it does, I want it to do it so well. Like we've put so much work into these new songs that I feel like it's an album's worth of work in a song.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
I want every single to stand out, and if we can do a 2-year rollout on it, then that's perfect.
Content is key,
yeah,
too.
because once you shoot the shot, you have no bullet left.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of like a hip hop approach. Is it?
That's we release music like hip hop artists, and we tour like comedians.
Yeah.
Like those two industries have everybody beat.
And
in my
you
opinion.
dropped a controversial people like Falling in Reverse, but somebody who does it really well that I love is Tom McDonald. And
you go.
way he does that.
Oh,
in way
piss
he
everybody off and then release
Not
something
only
great.
that, but
Yep.
not only but he taught everybody that the Billboard charts 9 a.m. Friday to 9 a.m. Friday every week.
Yep.
And that's what he does. And he's able to chart Billboard every time because he knows that fact.
and it's just him and his wife.
Well,
really.
and not him and his wife.
System too. It's crazy. Though,
Have you guys charted yet? Do you want an industry piece of advice that I was
Yeah,
given
throw
that
it.
changed the game
100%.
for me? So random fact, it was very low on the list, but that album right there charted first week. Do you want to know how it happened?
Whose
all-
did you suck?
Nobody. It's all about
It
your
was mine.
ISRC codes. So everybody,
Okay, RSRC
everybody this up. If you want like a true recipe to success in the streaming era, pay attention, kids.
Pay attention.
Your master is your ISRC code.
Yeah.
A lot of people up and they release singles that are not the same master as their final album. So like the difference is it worked for us on this record because we had it mastered before we released a single. This record's going to be different. However, we're going to master everything up front and then master future songs against them. So whatever that song does in streaming, you put out your single, you get, 100,000 streams on that. That still counts on release day when that same ISRC is on that album.
Oh,
So if
okay.
Yeah,
so
you're
for
gonna
us,
count
we
the
dropped
codes.
7. There's 11 tracks on that record. We dropped 7 singles ahead of the album. Most of them did over 100,000 streams. So on first week, all of those amalgamate and count because when you go to upload through your
Nice.
distributor,
Okay.
you use that same ISRC code. So this record did 700,000 streams first week.
How do you change the IRC code for, like, say, DistroKid or something? Like, how do you determine?
So in DistroKid, you can either upload the WAV file or something like that, or you can say, or it says, do you have an ISRC instead? You use the ISRC from your single. Now, as long as it's the same master, now keep in mind, if you've been just doing singles and you're like,
It's going to sound different. Yeah.
it's going to sound different. However, for the most part, streaming has figured that out and leveled out most things. That's the move. So you see a ton of these bands who chart on Billboard first week. It's because they released a ton of singles, and then that all amalgamates on release.
Wow.
Okay.
That's amazing.
So
that's a good piece of advice, guys.
yeah, for the record, so that's how 700,000 streams happen when realistically, what, 10,000 streams opening week?
Isn't it crazy? That's what you have to figure that stuff out now.
The back end.
Yeah,
shit.
and
have to-
for
yeah.
the record, nobody told, like, it took years to get that advice.
You guys are independent, right? I mean,
Yeah.
All
We have no
independent.
management. We have no, and it's me, which is a bummer. Like, we've tried to find management, and I've started to learn everybody that
How do you
manages.
trust somebody?
Well, also the business model of management now is give me thousands of dollars a month, and I will name drop you to my famous friends or get you on so and so's Instagram story.
Which is just not
And,
feasible.
you know,
for everyone.
and
Musicians are
it's
not. They're not
garbage.
rich people.
So, like, people criticize musicians for not being business savvy. The business is though.
Dude, it's up.
ridiculous.
Yeah. I want to go back to that. You know, the music industry has definitely become this cesspool of basically business mongols. Like,
Everybody who wants to stab you to get one step
yeah,
ahead.
give me one of this. But it's become not only just cutthroat, but the fact that managers will be like, yeah, pay me $5,000 a month to maybe give you a shot at something.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, when you get that shot, you got to buy onto that tour because I talked to the guy, but they want you to pay on because it also
take
helps.
a loan out of here.
Take a loan out of here because that covers the overhead of the headliner. Oh, it's a dark world.
Well, and it's one of those, like, buy-ons aren't a bad thing. You just have to have
the right
capital
one.
to
The
do
right
it.
one, too.
And it has to make sense. I
Yeah.
mean, we've had offers. Somebody who's helped us with financial management manages some of, like, the biggest rock acts on earth. So we get a few buy-on offers, but it's like, which one of us is going to be able to take out $50,000 on a gamble that we will make it back on the percent afterwards?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's just one of those. The risks are really massive nowadays, and
Absolutely.
that's part of why, like, I feel like I make drastically better music in my early 30s than I did as a teenager. But it's part of why teenagers are able to sustain a little more because you don't have a mortgage and you don't have that to lose. Like, I feel like teenagers with rich parents, like, you're set up to
baby.
be taken care
Mom
of.
and Dad.
Yeah.
So instead of college, can I go open up a Nickelback?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Which, honestly, like, what a great move.
Oh yeah,
What a,
dude! If I could do that, if I could just take a risk, I would do it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I would absolutely be like, "Yo, Chad, let's make this."
We get
happen.
Nickelback and Nickelback on the same
I will
bill.
quit. I will quit this band right now.
Do you guys get shit for, like, a Nickelback
Oh, yeah.
sound?
No. So I get.
I think we
We
just
embrace
coin.
it.
I think
I
we coin
am-
it ourselves.
Yeah, I literally,
We do.
I
We
do
do.
it.
We're
I literally
self-proclaimed
will
Nickelback.
self-proclaim to be like, because I love Nickelback, and I know a lot of people.
Hey, I love Nickelback, too.
See, though, everyone is like a closet Nickelback fan, but then like a lot of people in the scene, they'll be like, "I hate Nickelback, they suck." But it's funny
trolling.
because like I had every time like when Load Up came out, people were like, "This is what Nickelback should have sounded like if they
Oh
kept
my
going." Nice joke.
Dylan.
This is what Nickelback should have sounded like had they kept going in this direction.
Yeah.
But I take it as a compliment every time. Like I don't even care.
Really?
And when I'm writing stuff too, like I'm like a lot of people are like
Oh no.
in the scene, like, let's write the heaviest breakdown. Or those are the bands that, you know, we've grown up with. And I'm like, I just want to write a good song. If there happens to be a breakdown, great. If not, whatever.
Well, and it's all about, like, stylistically. Like, I don't think Nickelback is a bad criticism. For the record, anybody who talks shit on Nickelback, keep in mind, Nickelback became the biggest band on planet Earth with a singer who doesn't sing clean. Like that's one thing people forget
Absolutely.
about. Chad Kroeger never sings a clean pretty
No.
note. He is dirty their entire set.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously it's a different kind of grit
And
than
he's
you're going to hear on Lorna Shore's
Yeah,
new
yeah,
record.
no,
but-
it's what.
And you know, dude, Chad is one of the greatest live singers I've ever
He's
seen.
so good
and
live.
consistent to a fault.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
because of the dual guitars and the way I sing, we get Avenged Sevenfold a lot.
And I
Like,
love them. So great,
y-
great
Exactly.
comparison.
I'm like, that's literally like
Thank
a
you.
compliment.
I
So,
love that.
Thank you.
What?
It's like saying you're Metallica. Okay.
yeah, right.
Well, and
Because-
at
because
this
I
point,
just spot-
criticism, people are always going to like. I'm at the point in my life too where I'm like, look, I'm not going to please everybody, and I'm well aware of that. And that's the thing. It's like I'm going to create what I'm going to create, and just kind of keep going and doing what I want to do. Like, And that's just, you can't win everyone over, and you don't have to.
No,
Like,
no,
you know,
and
there's a
don't
place.
compromise.
Encourage
There's
to
a
be disliked.
there's a place for everyone in this industry, and if you create something, just stick
As
with
long as
it.
it's
Do your thing.
authentic.
Yeah.
Can I add on that a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I've had, I come from a metal background and I've had those friends have their concerns, but you know what? Once those people see us live, it's undeniable.
Oh,
They become fans.
Oh, yeah.
Just as everyone else did, just as quick.
Yeah.
And they start to understand it because there is a level of undeniability that you can put into these things. And anyone that comments and has a negative comment, I always say, you just set yourself up to become a fan. You know why? It's gonna hit you.
It's gonna hit you.
Whether
It's
it's
gonna win you
here
over.
or
So-
it's there, we're gonna get you.
There's also something called the
100%.
Barbara Streisand effect. So the more
Who is that?
I think
South Park,
think,
episode 1.
I really
two.
think that
Mecca Streisand.
Like it's right.
Sorry, go ahead.
dude, no, it's
Josh
it's a thing,
Streisand.
man.
What are you talking about?
Like
The Barbara Streisand.
The more you
effect?
talk shit on her, the more powerful she becomes.
Wyatt Streisand?
Yeah. And
That was some South Park
look at
stuff.
Falling in Reverse. Look at Ronnie Radke. I mean, he does.
dude.
Eminem.
He's a heel.
I mean, there are
He's a heel. Like
these people do that. It draws more attention to them.
everyone
Yes.
loves a villain. It's kind of like there is like the power. In that. Like,
You know what? A lot of people consume music on their phone nowadays. And I'm a heavy music fan. When I first heard Meshuggah, I hated it. I was like, "Are you serious?
Dun, dun,
This
dun.
is noise. This is noise.
Same.
Really?
This is terrible." Then I heard it at the right decibel, and I heard the drums, I heard the guitar, and I heard
You felt it.
keeping a heavy vocal interesting through a whole 9-minute song. You try and do that.
Dude, they started Gent.
You
man.
try and
Yeah.
do
Really,
that.
they
There you go.
started Gent.
How
It
about
is
this?
so impressive to me now. It's wild.
You want me to defend a band that nobody would ever fucking defend?
Let's hear
Do it.
Which I'm a
hear it.
big fan of that. Like there are bands like Black Veil Brides that everybody hates, and I'm like, dude, that band fucking rips.
Yeah.
I've seen them. I've seen them. They're
They're
great. They're great.
spectacular.
They're fucking great.
However, like biggest band I never thought I would defend because I went to see them just thinking it would be garbage.
Yeah.
I went to see Buckcherry.
Oh,
and I was
Dude,
like,
he-
this
dude,
band is
no,
whatever.
no, you don't have to defend it.
So,
You don't gotta
but
defend
here's
it,
my
man.
point. I went and their backdrop said no click track, no auto tune, no backing track, no bull.
It's kind of
Like it was up
Yeah.
there, and I
Yeah.
sat there, and in a world of very like we all obviously all use production.
Yeah.
To go see a band that's had their heyday, and watch them play straight up ass kicking rock and roll with no track, just live band fucking
Yeah.
hi-hat count-ins, like have it be so real and visceral. I went to that show expecting to make fun of that band and left a Buckcherry fan.
Damn.
and that
That's
You're
the
crazy,
dangerous side of
man.
music. That's the dangerous side of music right there.
They're gonna win you over. That's the thing. Let them win you over.
So recently, I went and saw Godsmack. I've seen Godsmack like 10 times. They're incredible every single time. They do that dueling drum solo.
Yeah, it's great.
Obviously, I'm
You gotta-
just
you
gonna
gotta
be a
get
fan of
into
that.
it. You gotta do
I had
it.
to look that up. I was like, how do you fucking do that? And they actually do that in a airplane hangar.
That's fucking.
That's
cool.
where they
That's
practice.
where they practice. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but one band that I never. So I played with this band 3 times, and I never ever gave them the time of day because their singer was just like so high pitched, and I just couldn't get into it. Was Icy Stars?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, 'cause you got
I
like that-
played with them at El Corazon twice, Studio 7 once.
Yeah.
And I just
And now they're
couldn't-
killing it.
I just couldn't get into it at all. But the thing is, my buddy Cody Green and I, so we used to practice in the back rooms of Studio 7 there. We were the first
I used to
room-
live
we
in
were
those
the-
rooms.
Dude, we were the first room on the left.
Yep.
That was our room.
Oh, I
And
remember.
many
We
good
were
memories.
there
Look,
for years.
all of us have had practice
So
rooms there.
one
This is
night, you know,
amazing.
like, we're all done, and we were like, hey, you know what? Let's grab a beer after practice. So we go up to security guard, and his name's Willis, and he's like,
Oh, Willis Mathias.
you know
my
Willis.
boy.
Yeah. He's like, yeah,
Willis
go
the
ahead.
illest.
Yeah, he just let us in. He's like, I know you boys, you know. So we went upstairs, we grabbed a beer, and we didn't know the band that was even playing, and Icy Stars came on, and it was like, it was out of this world how good they were, and there was like 40 people there, maybe. I mean,
And they still put on the show of their lives.
they slayed it. They actually like had costume changes, like everything.
Fuck
they
yeah,
went
dude.
backstage. They came back. They were wearing different stuff. But what I loved about them was how solid they were, and how many like different types of instruments that they had going on.
Yeah.
It was something that was just kind of something that I never thought that I would like, and I ended up just seeing them going, wow, I have major respect for this band.
And sometimes it really takes just something hitting you in the face live for you to go like, holy fuck, like Spirit Box is a good example. The best show lineup I can like possibly imagine.
Such a great one-woman band.
A couple of years ago. So I'm a massive Under Oath fan. Like that band.
They're
is
great.
That band is in my DNA. Like Aaron Gillespie's drumming is everything to me. But so Under Oath came to town and they initially had Every Time I Die as support, which is one of my favorite bands of all time. Every Time I Die breaks up, and they're like, fuck, what are we going to do to give people a show? So they invested in some new bands. And so it was Under Oath, Spirit Box, Bad Omens, and Stray from the Path.
Yeah.
That lineup was incredible, but I had never heard Spirit Box. And I was like, there's this hyped up band. I tend to like avoid bands who have a lot of like TikTok hype at the time. Hence why it took me a minute with Bad Omens and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like I watched Spirit Box and I was like, oh, whatever, wow me. And they were like a song and a half in, and I went, wow, I'm gonna shut the up now.
See,
Courtney's spectacular.
That's just the thing with music, man. It depends on how you were introduced to this and with the surrounding that you have for it. Because I just said about Meshuggah, I hated Meshuggah, and then all of a sudden I had musical things within me, not only gratified by that, but I expanded upon something that I had inside me, and it was just. It was huge.
It's like, you ever hate a band because a girl showed them to a specific
Oh
girl
my
showed
god!
them to.
It's like a TV show on Netflix. You're like, I'm never watching this again.
I'm like, I'm never listening to 3 Days of Grace again. And for the record,
Pain
and
with Daniel.
and nothing of value was lost. So
I love this, guys. This has been such a fun just time talking.
we're gonna fix that one in post.
No, we'll fix it all in post.
I was gonna say, do we have any more like points to hit? Do we? Have,
I think we've covered pretty much all the points. I mean,
Now we can
come up with
beatbox.
something like profound. What's a song that saved your life? What's a song that changed
I liked it.
your
Let's
life?
end with that. What is a song that saved your life, and then we'll close it up. What's a song that saved your life?
I'm gonna say "Thoughtless" by Korn.
Okay.
Interesting.
Something.
Such a great
There's
song.
something about the music video and the song. It not only is the biggest neck breaker to me. You catch me anywhere. I'm in the worst mood, the best mood. I don't know what to listen to. I put on that song. I break my goddamn neck, and I put myself in that position of being a young, under the radar person, not amount to person, and I become this bigger than life expectation of who I want to be. There's something about that song that it does to me that I will never turn it off, and I will break my neck. Every time that the hi-hat, I will
It's got
run
such
someone
a,
off the road.
It's got such a unique melody.
Yes.
Coming through the pages
Yes,
of my
and it's so.
fantasy.
And anyone that comes, I bring so many people to the Korn side because Korn is my number one band. If I had to be on an island with,
I didn't expect that.
it's Korn.
Dude, that was a massive amount why we got.
Yeah.
we were so cool with each other because we love Korn.
And their discography,
Classic.
even their bull
Timeless.
crap that nobody listens to, I listen to. It's just hits me.
Shout out to the Path of Totality record. Everybody hates that record. That record was 10 years ahead of its time.
So that was another thing for me.
They are very
I
on
hated
every time.
dubstep. I had a lot of dubstep friends. All of a sudden, the girl I had feelings for in high school gave me that record and came over to my house and listened to it with me. And let me tell you right now, I was a Skrillex fan the next day.
Okay, what about you two? What about you doing?
You know, I mean, I have a deep love for Incubus. That's probably my favorite band, and it was my dad's best friend's favorite band, and he would play that all the time. His name was Dell, and he ended up dying from a brain tumor. But the thing is, like, every single time I hear Drive or I Wish You Were Here, it just sends chills down my spine, and that whole band is just an accumulation of, like, the music that I would love to play at some point. Like, they have this, like, great reggae. They have some really heavy stuff about them, but the thing is, the lyrical content behind it, it just, like...
And you feel Zell's DNA in it.
It speaks to me in a certain way, and I just remember all the good times from being a kid, and just, like, I can't get over it. It just speaks to my heart in a certain way that nothing else can.
Well, earlier you talked about the legacy of music that we leave behind. Like, the dudes in that band have no idea that you remember somebody else so beautifully through, like, they're a conduit to your emotional tie to that.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's beautiful. That's, like, what we create that we leave behind.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Oh, gosh. I mean, their music is timeless to me. Yeah. You know? But even though it's just to me, you know, it doesn't matter about anything else. You know, it's to me, it means everything.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, and I love that.
Yeah. All right. Did you want to hop in on this?
Oh, sure.
His name's Chris Cornell.
Well, yeah, of course, Chris Cornell, everything, Audioslave, Soundgarden, Temple of Dog, you know me, and all this old stuff. But anyways, no, I gotta say, and I know that a lot of people probably give me shit for this, but I am one of those crazy Tool fans. Oh my God.
Name 3 songs. I'm just kidding. No, I'm joking.
No, there's a song called Parabola, and the lyrics are, recognize this as a holy gift and celebrate your chance to be alive and breathing. And,
I like that.
Ooh, that give me chills.
I like that.
It always brings me back to the present, reminds me that this is a fleeting thing. Like, we're going to all die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we got to
leave your print.
embrace the moment.
I'm a big fan of that memento mori thing where at all times you, like, realize.
Memento mori.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
beautiful. There you go.
Look
like,
at that.
At all times, remember that because, like, you don't get this time back. My choice would probably be Doomsday by Architects, because when that song came out, like, anybody can Google, like, the background to that story, but it's the last song that their guitar player wrote before he passed away, like, tragically young from cancer. Yeah. And that band, through, like, their grief counseling, went and were like, we're going to finish his last song. And they didn't even know they'd continue as a band, but, like, that song is so, like, Sam Carter's vocal performance in that song. Like, I listened to that song, and after 10,000 listens, every hair on my body stands up, and I, like, get visibly emotional every time. And I went through a really dark period of time in my life while we were working on this record and listening to that what that song became, like, on a record called Holy Hell. Like, that record saved my fucking life. Like, every time I was like, I can't win this. Like, I don't know if I can make it out of this. That record made me feel okay. And it's still, in my opinion, like, the greatest record about grief ever. So
that's awesome.
It's gonna bring tears to my eyes.
Bring tears.
Yeah, that record.
That's amazing.
Powerful.
Yeah,
that's amazing the way that music can, you know, just help you through a rough time.
What you got? Now that we're all spilling our soul, we've been laughing, and then we just got
like,
so deep.
Photograph.
Now it all comes down to
all the small things.
We're manic right now.
No,
I love
look at this
We're so
pornograph. No, I think for me, I mean, one song to even take it back to when
I like your pants around
when you
your
need.
I knew it.
Do it. No, it's Ricky. It's never gonna kill you. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing it again. We're gonna do that every episode, just a rickroll. I would say one for me that really sticks out was "Life Is Beautiful" by 6 a.m. I loved about Nikki, like that, the writing.
Oh, dude, that was such a killer
song when it came out.
Those lyrics are so clever.
So
too.
yeah,
like,
so clever, and it kind of like there was a time in my life where things like felt just so dark, and it was hard to get out of that. Music's always been something that I go to pull me out. But there was something in his lyrics. I know that I might not share like the same story that Nikki Sixx does, because obviously it's a very, very dark story of him struggling with drugs, and I didn't have that in relation with him. But it was the idea that life is beautiful, and people take it for granted every day, like every breath that we have. Like, we're not here for a long time, as like Red was saying. We're not here, and life is beautiful. So every moment that we get Sometimes we get caught in the daily routine. We're stuck in a loop. The grind. And then we just we forget that, we're alive and there's so many cool things that can still happen. And it's a crazy thing. Life's beautiful. I think that just stuck out to me.
I think that's a beautiful sentiment. And it's the fact that, like, dude, even like today, not to get like too meta on the fact that we're doing a podcast, but like we're all friends and like don't see each other enough. So just the excuse, like thank you for making today beautiful. My day is beautiful because I got to spend it with people I love.
Dude, the second I saw you,
that made my day.
Just like,
Seriously.
Yeah. Like we all knew we were gonna have a good day. And
this has been like
this is us living our best lives.
We are all kindred spirits.
We're all kindred spirits. And I love that we all got to get together and just talk about music and life and everything. This has just been such an experience.
And look for a tour next year,
Look for a tour next year, guys.
Doesn't 6 a.m. have a song with the Bring Me Horizon guy?
Oliver Sykes?
Yeah.
Probably.
It totally could be. I mean, 6 a.m., like, they have a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Guys, touch on them. They got some great music. Well, it's been an awesome time out here. Thank you guys for watching Canecast. Please subscribe, like, share, all the things. Check out Wyatt Olney. Got some amazing music out there.
Like, for closing one, can I get a yeah?
Hey, guys, can I get a yeah? Thank you, guys. Peace out. Walk away, dude.
Canecast.